Oh, what's up, brother? Nice to see you, man. Yo, nice, brother. All right. Oh, I'm like so mad, dude. I'm like honestly figuring out how much I want to just mask off and just rip into these people. It's like these fucking libs, dude. They just refuse to support science. I can't fucking stand it, dude. They just refuse to actually support science in any meaningful way. And all they want to do is use it as this ideological football. I can't stand it, man. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. That's the also thing. I'm like, do I want to do it? Do I want to do it when I'm mad and then like regret it later? Or do I just say fuck it and just burn all the bridges and just fucking go for it? I don't know. I don't know, dude. I hate it so much. It's not okay. Not okay. Hey, what's up, Better Truth? How's it going? I just found your debate with Ken Hovind. Are you doing live session? Yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah. I'm over it. I mean, dude, the problem is like, um, if you wanted to, you can have we can talk on Discord, or you could go into TikTok, Bitter Truth, whatever you would want. Yeah, we're back. We got it. Exactly. Unless you possess an advanced biology degree, I'm not interested in your opinion. For real. What is that? What is that? That the idea? Fauci to prison. Like what the hell, dude? This it's part of the thing. God, I'm so mad about it. Sanish, what's up, dude? Are you coming in from your new PC? I'm so happy for you, man. You deserve it, brother. Okay. Bro, it's not all a game show though. It's not all a game show. There are people that are out here legitimately trying to make a difference in the world, that are really trying to help people and trying to better your life. So just saying it's all a game show, it's like, no, man, it's not. Like people are trying to do different things. We are trying to push back. Like we can't just say that. We can't just be defeatist like that, guys. It belittles people that are actually trying to make a difference when we say things like that. It's not okay. We can't say that. No, we definitely have not won. We haven't done anything. Come on, man. Looking for accessibility tools for proper control. Nice, bro. Nice, nice, Tanish. Dude, I'm fucking. This is not the day. We ain't win anything. Yeah, exactly. The problem is that TikTok is so censorship heavy on this issue that it's like I don't even want to like what's the point? Like what are we doing? You know? Like it's really frustrating to even talk about this issue. Dr. Jace doesn't know anything. Dude, Dr. Jace has like forgotten more things in the last week than you have known about science your entire life. Okay? Like what do you like, give me a break, dude. That it just goes to show, wow. Hey, Helen. How did you like to debate with Hovind the biologist? I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, again, dude, like I think that those are good opportunities and we have to do whatever we can in order to fight this nonsense. Like that's the thing is that like I will take any opportunity to fight back and battle these people. Like that's the thing, man. That's the thing. Like if you are about this shit and you actually care about these issues, then you will take every single possibility in order to fight back against it because it's that important. It's that big of a battle. That's the problem that we have right now as people on the left or the liberals or scientists in general. Like science actually isn't given an opportunity to fight back on these levels, and that's where we're at. That's what happens. And so yeah, of course, I'm going to take every opportunity to debate Kent Hovind, and some coming up too. I have something planned too. So just the idea of this stuff, we have to fight back at every chance that we have. We have to. I don't debate people who think CRISPR is the fridge drawer. Yeah, yeah. I think different strokes, you know what I mean? I think that that's totally fair, you know? I think that's totally fair. Hey, what's up, guys? Dude, I'm feeling very competitive right now. I just might not I might get my entire account abandoned right now. I'm totally fine. I'm so mad. Go, come on. Libs are crybabies. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Accept your freaking invite. Let's go. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm waiting. We're all waiting for you. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh. Another fail. Another conspiracy fail. Another one that we had someone on TikTok chat that it's super conspiratorial and refuses to uh actually happen like get involved. Okay. Um yeah, I don't know. I don't know what do I want to do. I don't know if I wanna scorch earth. I don't know. Okay, yeah, let's just talk about the hearing, and then we'll just go from there. If it happens, it happens. I don't know. I might crash out about it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.
Dr. Fauci, your testimony today is compelled.
Libs or crybabies. Okay, you either are gonna I'm muting you. You either follow up with you either follow up and get in the box like I told you, or you're just gonna get muted. So like you don't you can either come in and talk to me or you can leave. That's it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's right here. Boom. Yeah, it's right there. I couldn't bear to watch the hearings today. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely cover it coming up. I want to see if this libs or crybabies actually wants to debate, or if he's a crybaby. I'm gonna guess that he's a crybaby. Yeah, it's a lot of YouTube chats didn't show up until now. Yeah, they're synced now, so they should be good. They should be good. I tried only for an hour or so. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, guys. It's gonna be really frustrating. Um, I said what makes people turn into conspiracy nuts is a lack of trust in institution as a result of corruption. I mean, it's specifically just the Republican Party, though. I mean, I agree with you, but it's just the Republican Party that has like the lost the plot on these institutions and stuff. Still, science is like the number one most trusted profession in the country. So, like, that it's not true that it's all people that have lost all feelings about science. It's just Republicans. So, yeah, I mean, exactly, Phil. I mean, the reason why he takes the reason why he takes the fifth is that he's pardoned, and they're trying to bait him to have something that they can actually hold against him and that they can charge him with. That's the whole reason. There's no other reason. There's no other rhyme. It's just yeah. Yeah. He's trying to accept the invite with glyphosate. It's glyphosate, it's Monsanto. Ah, it's either Monsanto or Mossad. Every time, guys. Every time. Dude, Biden did do the right thing, and you can see with how unhinged the Republicans are with the testimony today. It's exactly what he should have done, because they will absolutely be going after him hog wild for nothing, for doing nothing. He did absolutely nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong the entire pandemic. Couldn't he have chosen not to go? I think the contempt of Congress, I mean, he could have not gone, but then you're technically supposed to, since they summon you, so you could be arrested. But Trump showed that you can delay that stuff, and his entire administration, nobody from his administration actually goes to these things. So it is kind of unfair. Why should we? So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why Fauci had a lawyer if the lawyer couldn't sit by him and be recognized. Yeah, I mean that was weird. GG, thank you. Yeah, Amanda's live was crazy earlier. Yeah, I got a misinformation or a warning flag. That was very weird. Very weird. Republicans are their worst enemy. Institutional republics care about war profiteering, and the Republican voters are going to turn on them because of it. Yeah, I agree. Of course he did nothing wrong. The way Republicans are constantly berating him is vile. Exactly, Ness. It's so frustrating. People are angry. You have to admit the COVID lockdowns and how they were carried out, the deaths, the constantly changing protocols. Someone must be held accountable. No one has yet. Fauci's the scapegoat. So it's important to realize that the United States never actually locked down. This is a complete misnomer that people have. Um, we never did. We never had a complete shutdown of the country. Places in Europe had a legitimate shutdown. China had a legitimate shutdown, and this is one of the reasons why the United States deaths per capita is so high because we failed to look out after one another. We just didn't. We didn't care. We didn't care about the deaths of Americans, and we were willing for people to actually die because of it. It's very sad. Um, the constantly changing protocols, I mean, that was as a function because of Trump. So because Trump was president at that time and he was overriding the CDC, that is why the mandates and everything went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's just the reality. If the CDC was allowed from the very start to go forward and do the things that they wanted to do, we would be in a lot different position. But alas, we are not, and that's what we're at. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I think I like this here better. Oh, hmm. A true lockdown couldn't happen. The lockdown for American standards was a lockdown. Schools were closed, businesses were closed. In the American sense, it was a lockdown. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but that's not what a lockdown is. So we can't name it. We can't say that. There's a reason why the United States deaths per capita is so high. We know that, and we know it's because of our faulty response. And that one of the faulty responses is that we never actually did lock down and forcibly quarantine people that were positive, that were coming in from Europe at the time when Europe was legitimately shutting down. So we know this through epidemiological data. We know it through genetics. This isn't something that is like questioned at this point. Yeah, exactly. As the pandemic was going around, our understanding improved. We changed. We adapted. It's science. Yeah, I totally agree. Exactly. If you choose to only support the Democrats or the DSA, which would it be? I mean, the DSA candidates are running as Democrats, so that is one party. So there really is no division in that one. I mean, so Italy in Europe responded in 2020. The outbreak happened December 2020, 2019, and then the first sequences were coming out in February 2020. So people were responding in February and March. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Trump did call it a Chinese hoax for a very long time. Exactly. He called it a Chinese hoax for a really long time. Exactly. Hey, Vodka, how's it going? Wasn't it to do with part with the emergent science? It was a novel coronavirus. We had to understand it. So coronaviruses weren't novel. The fact that we call it a novel coronavirus is because the spike protein was new and we didn't have any antibodies for it specifically. So that's why it's called a novel coronavirus. So that's specifically why. Yeah, exactly. The physicians and the medical teams were absolutely stressed to the gills, and nobody recognizes them or really talks about them. It was kind of like uh, just just not they've never gotten their true day of understanding and, um, support, I would say, since the pandemic because of the pandemic, it's very sad. Actually, let's do this. Let's put this. I wanna put this, um, overlay this. Put this right here. You must admit COVID was handled horribly wrong by everyone. It was messed up bad that if another deadly outbreak, if something happened, the science skepticism, no one will try to do anything. I mean, the CDC did nothing wrong in regards to the pandemic. Like the CDC and the blueprint that they had was not wrong, like whatsoever. Um, so yeah, I don't think that science did anything horribly wrong at all. It was the DHS overriding the CDC that caused a bunch of like panic, a bunch of confusion. It wasn't the scientific community that did anything wrong specifically. Yeah, exactly. He dismantled the Obama, pandemic preparedness team, exactly, and that was put in place, by the way, by George W. Bush. George W. Bush famously reads a book about pandemics on vacation, and he asks, "Does the CDC, like, are we prepared for a pandemic here?" They say, "No." He creates this pandemic response team. Obama fortifies it, puts people into it. Trump comes in, undoes all of Obama's, actions, executive actions, and of course that's one of them. And then now all of a sudden, there you go. So it's embarrassing. The CDC science community doesn't do anything anyway. They make recommendations. They aren't enforcement. They don't write laws. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's kind of the problem, and one of the things that we've kind of shown, right, is that the um oh, thank you so much, Eflon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Um, yeah, the problem is that the CDC can't do anything. I think it really shows that you need kind of like more of a technocratic element of the response. It can't be just the recommendations. You know what I mean? It can't be that. Yeah, exactly. The scientific response was incredible. The speed of the production of the vaccine was awesome. It was a huge win for Operation Warp Speed, and it was honestly an incredible moment for us to all celebrate the ingenuity of science and what we have done and what we had really supported through taxes for decades, and kind of like coming home to roost the awesome things that we had done in the scientific community. And instead, people were pilloried and uh, lambasted in the media, unfortunately. And conspiracies were adopted and pushed and allowed on algorithms. And even nowadays, you can't even like it's just wild. Yeah, it was a huge victory for science. I totally agree. I really do think so. So you're pro censorship? I mean, during the height of the pandemic, that's going to cause people to lose their life. Like, absolutely. I mean, the 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 estimates right now are about that 300,000 people lost their life in the United States specifically because of anti-vaccine rhetoric. 300,000 people, and then another 300,000 specifically because of Trump's bad actions in response to the pandemic. So half of the people that died in the United States didn't have to. Directly because of that. So I absolutely believe that we should have done anything because of it. It's censorship. We actually absolutely do have censorship in the United States. I'm sorry. Yeah, again, you don't understand what you're talking about. So Dr. Jace would send little kids who weren't vaccinated back to the end of the line and let them die? I I mean, bro, uh, I mean, people I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, the fact that they shouldn't g are you saying that they shouldn't get medical treatment? Exactly, Maui Wise, amazing, exactly, the technology of the vaccinations were around for 20 years before that, exactly, yes, yes, oh my gosh, I hope that you learned that here. Yes, the mRNA lipid nanoparticles had been used in mammals before, and since the early 2000s and in personalized cancer medications since 2015. It's exactly right. Oh, yeah, Dr. J said that anti-vaxxers should go to the back of the ER queue. Oh, for sure. Yeah, because if you are being triaged during the middle of a pandemic, you're going to put your resources towards people that have the best chances of surviving, and people that have a vaccination are 10 times more likely to survive during the height of the pandemic, especially with the alpha variant. Then absolutely, guys. I don't know if you are an alcoholic and you damage your liver to the point where you need a new liver. I'm sorry, but you're not gonna go and just automatically get a free liver. You're gonna go to the back of the line unless you actually show, like, you show that you're not doing that thing anymore. Like, I'm sorry, that's just what it is. That's not even a controversial opinion. I'll gladly be at the back of the line. Dude, why don't you try hard and do this stuff in with Ebola? Why don't you go over to Ebola regions in Africa right now and and bring this energy about being anti-vaccine? How about that? How about you go bring this anti-vaccine rhetoric after being bitten by a a rabid dog or a rabid animal. And by the way, that virus has a 100% lethality rate. So if you don't get a vaccine, you're going to die. So congratulations. No, you're not. You're not 100% anti-vaccine. You're not. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You would beg for that rabies shot because that's the only way that you would survive. So again, you're just spewing nonsense. Okay, let's see it. Let's see it. Speak for yourself. Let's see it. Let's see. Let's see. I'm waiting. We're waiting. Stone. Paging Stone. What's up, dude?
Yeah, what's the argument I ought to inject children with
Do you believe in
metals,
viruses? Do you think do you
poisons?
think that viruses exist?
I don't even believe germs exist. I don't hold to
Okay.
germ
Okay.
theory.
Okay, so you're an idiot then. That's fine. I mean, that's fine. You I
Oh,
mean,
that's subjective.
no,
It's because
because no,
science is
because no,
subjective.
no, it's not. No, it's definitely not. We definitely know that viruses exist. You definitely know that viruses exist. Why do you think that germ theory is fake?
Man,
Why do you believe in terrain theory?
because it isn't reliable.
Wait,
The
terrain theory
likelihood
isn't
and probability
reliable?
of it is not.
Terrain theory isn't reliable. Hello?
Like I
Eh,
said, the likelihood and probability of
Hello? Is
germ
this thing
theory.
on? Can you rub your all two of your brain cells together, okay? Try to make some friction in that brain. Engage with the words that I'm trying to say, and then just put all two brain cells to each one of your lips and then use them to speak.
Should I plead the fifth?
You can if you want to.
Would that be more productive
You can
on
if
here?
you
'Cause
want to. I mean,
I
are
know
you crashing out
Fauci
right now?
pleads the
You're
fifth.
crashing out right now. You can't answer a
I ought to
single
plead
question
the
that I
fifth.
have.
That might get me
You're
somewhere.
you're
Yeah.
that mad? You're
Yeah,
that
that's what I
mad, bro?
thought.
You're that
I
mad?
thought.
You're crashing out right now. You
Can
couldn't
you
answer a
prove how
single
science is
questions.
objective?
How can I? Yes, because we can
Right.
independently measure the fact that bacteria exists. Yes,
That's
we
a
can show
claim.
it. We can show it
Have a good
through.
night,
Oh, it's crashing
you
out, running already. You
dogmatic
absolute coward. You're a
atheist.
fucking
You
pussy, dude. You're an
dogmatic atheist,
absolute
man.
pussy. Get out of here. God damn, I hate people like that. God, just ruin our society, and you can't even back up your claim for 2 seconds, dude. 2 questions. What an absolute coward. What an absolute coward, dude. God. Absolute God. Yeah, exactly. Folded instantly. No, I don't think that germs are real. Okay, why? Uh, should I plead the fifth? Idiot. Absolute dolt. Absolute dolt. What is this, Hogwarts? Exactly, Dr. Jace. That's the thing. Dude, all these guys are so hard in the paint. Oh, yeah, dude, I reject science. Yeah, you can't tell me what to do. And then as soon as they have a broken arm, oh, please, please, save me. Save me. Go make your own hospitals. Go make your own hospitals that use rosemary instead of acetaminophen. Okay? Go make your own hospital that does raw onions instead of ibuprofen. But none of you will, because you're absolute cowards when it comes down to it. That's all it is. All you care about is trying to, you're perpetually 12 years old. Oh, you can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. Like, bro, grow up, man. Grow up. We live in a world that has people other than yourself. Okay? Jeez. It's just embarrassing, bro. You're embarrassing. Do you ever talk about agriculture, food safety, GMOs, editing, and pests? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I genetically modify organisms for a living. That is what I do. So yeah, we talk about it all the time. I actually have a yeah, I have a video coming out. We just reacted to an anti-GMO video last night. So check out my YouTube, my stream last night, or we're gonna put out a video on it. Yeah, exactly. Crystals charged. Oh my gosh, I have a gunshot wound to the chest. Give me some charged water. God, exactly. Oh my God. So embarrassing, dude. I know, F on. It's like microbes literally one of the leading causes of death in the 1900s. Hundreds of millions of people died in the 1900s because of microbes specifically. The idea that we just don't know, or we are completely out of the lunch. We can see them. We can see them on a microscope. Sweet Mother of Jesus of Nazareth. That's what this is. These are right here. These are algae that are 10 microns apart, 10 micrometers apart. Okay? It's the size of your dingling, or also the diameter of an algae, Chlamydomonas ranhardi. They're the same size. You should be very, you should understand that scale. All right? Jeez. Homeopathy has existed for centuries. How can people have not caught on yet? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Des. I love this. Actually, it was Prime that brought up this. He was like, homeopathy has had a head start on science for millennia. Like what? Like a millennia? People have been like drinking their own pee. And they've had every chance in order to actually develop something and actually be applicable and actually cure something, but they can't. They have a 0% success rate of actually helping people or creating a medicine or doing anything productive for society. It's just wild, man. Oh, did I hear dingling? Yeah. Or your bits, that's what we call it for the kids, your bits. Yeah, can someone drop some tea tree oil in the ocean? Exactly. Yeah, we need a 1 in 1 billion dilution. So funny. God. I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised that they refused to come up on this. This is yeah, I'm like it's so frustrated. So frustrating. Yeah, exactly, dude. We can literally see microbes under a microscope, guys. Like we can see like individual parts of the cell. Like I can see the chloroplast inside of my algae. Like microscopy has gotten incredibly good. In what way do these people think that we don't understand this stuff? Wow, bacterial infections globally linked to roughly 7.7 million deaths per year. Yeah. Well, I mean, Stets, we don't want to know this one. I definitely think that he probably doesn't wash his hands. For sure, he doesn't. Probably doesn't. I mean, and none of the physicians that are tending on him should either. We should that's the thing. Like none of these people should have physicians that wash their hands. Are airborne viruses real? I don't know. They're not born in the air, but they're transmitted through the air. They're respiratory viruses. Like, dude, bro, you're an absolute coward. You're being muted until you come back up. Again, oh, germ theory isn't real. Go to your go check out Ebola cases in Africa, bro. Go, how about you go hang out with them? Go drink some of their corpse fluid and then come back to me and say that there's nothing in there. There you go. See? You got a mouth on you. Wow,
Yeah, why do I have to have a
so
mask outside, outdoors,
why don't you go
if a virus
why
needs a
don't you go
host?
check out Ebola in Africa? Why don't you go over
Why
there?
do I have to wear a mask outside
Why don't
if
you
a
go
virus needs a host?
because they're transmitted through the air. What are you talking about? We don't have no mask mandates that are still
Outdoors?
here. There are no mask mandates, bro. This is another thing the conspiracy theorists thought like, "Oh my god, we're going to have vaccine cards everywhere. No, it's never going to stop and we're going to have to wear the masks for the rest of our life." All that's gone. Like all of that is gone. Will you recognize that all of those mandates are gone?
I was referring to 2020.
I know, and I'm referring to today and how all of those things have been laxed. Do you agree?
It still doesn't change the fact, though, of the matter.
So what's going on in Africa? What's if germ theory isn't real, what's going on in Africa and what's spreading in Africa right now? Hello? 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 What adult, dude. Oh my gosh. It's too easy. It's too easy, dude. Freaking hilarious, dude. God, man. How embarrassing. I'd be so embarrassed. Imagine that being your child. Imagine that being your child. Yeah, they had never have an alternative reality for germ theory. I mean, it's always like oh, terrain theory, or germs don't make people sick, medicine does, kind of nonsense. And it's so boring, man. It's so boring. Imagine not understanding wanting to understand the world. Exactly. Like why can't you want to learn? Why don't you just like ask questions? Imagine just not asking questions. It's okay not to have expertise in everything. It's okay not to have you're not going to have an expert level knowledge on every single thing that happens in the world. It's okay to ask questions and say I don't know. But it's not okay to go up against the entirety of science and say that they're all wrong when we're not. It's like, that's just what it is. And what's happened is that science communicators, because science can never be 100% certain on anything, now we've falsely giving laymen the idea that it's about 50-50. And it's not. It's not 50-50. Okay? It's 99.9999999% versus 1. Okay? It's not oh, thank you, Ness. It's not a 50-50 choice on whether or not germs are real or not, okay? It's not. It's just give me a break. Oh my gosh, Randall Flagg, that's such a good one. Even George Washington knew the importance of quarantine when it came to smallpox, yet in 2026, a good portion of people opposed it. Yes, he inoculated his troops against smallpox during the Revolutionary War, and that's one of the reasons why people think that the United States won in the Revolutionary War. So it's like it's the first public health initiative was a inoculation and vaccination campaign against smallpox by George Washington itself. So if anyone ever says that, healthcare or public health isn't American, like take it up with George Washington, dude. Like you go be mad at him. Give me a break. Do they exactly, Dr. Jace? Do they even know someone who's died of polio? They don't. We're not living in fear of those anymore, you know? It's one of those things where vaccines are so vaccines are victim of their own success, right? Oh, interesting. Soldiers were court-martialed for cowardice for refusing the inoculations. Wow, I didn't know that. That's so true. So true. All right, guys, let's react. Rand Paul is an absolute coward, and he actually attacked a scientist and physician today, Fauci, who did nothing wrong during the pandemic, and yet still the Republicans make a political, ideological football and wedge issue out of science as opposed to trying to make us better as a country. They are trying to impugn academia and research science and say that we don't understand how these things work and we can't get any better. The United States did so poorly during the pandemic. Deaths per capita were one of the worst in the entire developed nations. And instead of trying to do better, instead of trying to advance new technologies, we have this nonsense that's happening, and that happened today. It's an absolute embarrassment to the United States. But let's cover it.
Dr. Fauci, your testimony today is compelled by a lawful subpoena. As you know, it's a crime under 18 U.S.C. Section 1001 to knowingly make a material false statement to Congress.
But what was I want to say, what does he get charged with for lying? What does Rand Paul get charged with for lying in these?
The penalty up to 5 years of imprisonment. Understanding that you are under oath, the American people would like to understand your reasoning, your rationale for why you chose to fund the research in Wuhan. There have been
Dude, this again, this whole idea of us, like the reason why we were and still are connected with research that's happening in China is because we proposed that after SARS-CoV-1, there was going to be another crossover event in that region, and the Institute of Virology was put there specifically for that. We, as the United States and as the CDC, want to play a role in the research that's happening there because it's important and has a global impact. As we can see from the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic that outbroke from there like we expected, and we can see that the research there was important for understanding how coronaviruses work. So it was right on both aspects. And yet people like Rand Paul refuse to acknowledge that and try to elaborate some global cabal conspiracy where all the scientists in the world are conspiring against this nonsense. But again, we have over 40 publications now, I think, that back up that the Institute of Virology was not the epicenter of the pandemic. We have over 500 scientists across 40 different countries, all coming to the same conclusion, that all looked at all the data, all independently came to the same conclusion. And the biggest point is that all scientific evidence shows that it was a natural spillover event at the wet market and that it was not a lab leak. And yet he still pushes this nonsense. And I know his next sentence is going to be gain of function. I know it. I just know it. Say it right now, Rand Paul. Say gain of function right now.
you know, intelligence agencies, the CIA, the FBI, the DOE, have all come to the conclusion that more likely than not, the virus came from the lab in Wuhan.
Absolutely rubbish. Absolutely. Because everyone knows that the best science reports and the best science publications come from the CIA. Give me a break. Nobody takes the CIA seriously in regards to scientific publication. They're not releasing their data. Nothing that they're talking about is peer reviewed, okay? The idea that we have to listen to some whistleblower about a leak of a report that we can't even see, we can't even verify, but we're supposed to just take this for carte blanche and shun the entire scientific community, the global scientific community that's come from one conclusion to what? Of the vibes and the feelings from your CIA co-op, whatever you're trying to push. Give me a break, man.
And so we'd like to know what was the rationale, what was the discussion, how, what went behind the decision to fund the research in Wuhan? How did you come to the conclusion that a totalitarian country would be capable of doing this in a BSL-2 lab, a lab that lacked the security?
BSL-2, what an idiot. It wasn't BSL-2. It's way, way higher than BSL-2. Oh my gosh. I've worked in BSL-2 labs, dude. The idea that this guy thinks that a BSL-2 lab is like this highly, wow, this is, there's, bro, if it was like a BSL-4 lab, then it makes sense. But a BSL-2 isn't like this crazy, dangerous thing. But it is important that they have proper PPE, they have proper procedures. That's the whole point. That's why it's important to create this relationship. That's what we need. That's what we need for now and in the future. And the problem is dipshits like Rand Paul are hurting our ability for it to have that in the future. That's the problem, is that he is hurting our diplomacy. He's hurting our ability to reach out to China in the future because he's embarrassing us. He's embarrassing himself, obviously, and that toupee, and the United States government. Impressive considering Trump is our president, and it's going to hurt our ability to reach out to them in the future because they're just not going to trust us with their data like they did before.
What was the reasoning, and are you sorry basically for making the
I'm
decision?
sorry.
Like given another chance, say, well, gosh, circumstances now as I know it, maybe it wasn't a wise thing. Can you explain to the committee why you chose to fund this dangerous research in China?
What an absolute dipshit.
On the
God, I hate
advice
him.
of counsel, I
Badass.
respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Based. Based.
In the red folder on your table is a copy of Section 192 of Title II of the U.S. Code. Your counsel has been provided a copy as well. That section makes it a crime for a witness appearing under subpoena to refuse to answer any questions pertinent to the question under inquiry. Do you have that in front of you?
On the advice of
Oh, I
counsel,
love it. That's so
respectfully
good.
decline to
Oh, he's
answer
so
based
mad.
upon my rights
I
under
love
the Fifth
it.
Amendment of the Constitution.
Let the record record that the witness has refused to answer whether there's a folder in front of him based on his Fifth Amendment right. It is true that you're appearing under direction of our subpoena to provide testimony on matters under consideration by the committee, including the origins of COVID-19, risky life sciences research, and your tenure as a federal government employee. Additionally, you've been provided a full and unconditional pardon dated January 9th.
Dude, speaking of which, how incredibly pertinent and astute of Biden in order to do that. Oh my gosh, thank you for the guest, the jewels. The fortuitiveness to know that these people were absolutely unhinged and are going to go after him personally. I'm so happy that he actually did get a pardon and that he actually has the ability not to be wrung through, all court all day. And I genuinely am. I am so happy that Biden had the forethought in order to do this, because the idea that this guy who did nothing wrong during the pandemic, okay? There were problems that happened that the United States did do, absolutely, but that was with the Department of Homeland Security overriding the CDC, not with anything that Fauci did himself, okay? So the idea that Fauci was this mastermind, this puppet master, when Trump was the president of the United States. Trump was the president of the United States, and we all know, everyone, we all know that Trump is really the type of guy that is real hands off, right? He's real hands off. He just lets everyone else run the show. Of course not. Of course not. We know that Trump gets his hands too much into the cookie jar. We know that. And he was like that during the pandemic. He was overriding CDC protocols that were been in there for over a decade because he wanted grandma to die for the economy, just like the Republicans said multiple times on Fox News.
2025, for any offenses against the United States which may have been committed or taken part from January 1st, 2014 through the date of the pardon for a 10-year period, arising from or in any manner related to your service as director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases, as a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force or the White House COVID-19 response team, or as chief medical advisor to the president. Have you refused this pardon, or do you have any reason to believe this full and unconditional pardon, this grant of immunity, would somehow require you to plead the Fifth Amendment?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Based on the facts presented, I'm going to...
I just want to, I do want to say that in regards to that, Rand Paul, I just want to let you know, that I did receive a pardon from your mom last night. Sorry. Okay, last one, I
direct you to
promise.
answer
I'm
the
sorry.
questions. The committee has issued a valid subpoena. They have requested your presence here. The questions are very pertinent to your decision-making as head of NIAID, as well as a chief advisor to the president. Do you still refuse to answer the questions?
On the advice
Of course
counsel,
not. You
I
should advance
respectfully decline to
nothing.
answer
Yes.
based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Owned. She's so mad, dude. He's so mad. I love it. Rand Paul's so mad. Okay, if you aren't aware, Rand Paul, who's an ophthalmologist, okay, he's an eye doctor. He doesn't have any training whatsoever in microbial, anything microbiology, nothing in regards to genetics, nothing in molecular biology. He has no idea what he is talking about, and yet his pet issue. Okay, his pet issue is this gain of function nonsense that he thinks happened in this Wuhan Institute of Virology, and he has personally attacked Fauci for, since the pandemic started, basically. So they've been quarreling in these hearings for half a decade now. And so it's culminating to this moment where now Fauci has a pardon, and Rand Paul knows that this is probably one of his last times that he's ever going to be able to bring Fauci in front of a congressional hearing like this. So he's trying to get everything that he can out of him. That's what's happening right now.
Dr. Fauci, were you ever made aware of gain-of-function research on
There it is. I
monkeypox
knew it.
being conducted at the National Biodefense Analysis and Countermeasure Center and back at Fort Detrick?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my right.
Amazing. He has no idea what gain of function is, guys. He has no idea what that is. Gain of function is necessary and absolutely critical in virology. Okay, there's two real big definitions of gain of function. Okay, the first one is like the more colloquial version, which Rand Paul understands because he's a layman. He doesn't understand anything. So gain of function is basically anything that is given an advantage in molecular biology terms. So an antibiotic gets a resistance, or like the cancer killing algae that we created, in the paper that I was a part of, that that algae gained the function to kill cancer cells, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cells, okay? That gained that function, right? That's what people kind of understand gain of function research to be. On the other side, kind of like the more scientific, academic, molecular biology terms, is basically they're trying to discern what actual mutations, because not all mutations are equal, which mutations confirm a benefit or a change in the virus's ability to bind to something or have an ability or something like that. So it's different, right? It's a crucial capability that we have, and when we are monitoring viral populations, that we know within those populations how dangerous are these viruses right now. What are they going to what could they do now, and what can they do in the future? A good example of this is hantavirus. Okay, from our population genetics and from gain of function research that we did with hantavirus, we actually knew specifically what types of mutations were bad or problematic in the hantavirus strains, so that when we sequenced the ones that were on the ship, we knew that the sequences there weren't dangerous. And that's how we knew pretty soon afterwards that this strain didn't have pandemic capabilities. We remember hearing about that. Well, that's because we had done the due diligence before. We had done our homework. We actually understood what the changes, or the single nucleotide changes, actually meant in terms of function for the virus. So this is crucial background research that we have to be doing. If you kill gain of function research, you're just basically killing our ability to adapt and respond to pandemics, causing more people to die. And that's what Rand Paul wants, by the way. Rand Paul wants more people to have died during the pandemic, and he wants more people to die in the future from future pandemics. That's what he is going for right now.
Under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Dr. Fauci, did the CIA ever transfer funds to NIH under an interagency agreement?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Okay, so is Fauci innocent? Yes. He did nothing wrong. Fauci's done nothing wrong. Name a single thing that Fauci did nefariously wrong during the pandemic. A single thing. He didn't. He just didn't. Like, Fauci was under Trump, figuratively and literally, in the fact that Trump was the one that was designating our response. And Trump is a conspiracy pusher. He doesn't believe this stuff, and he wanted an absolute authoritarian control over the pandemic response, when in reality, science should have been in response, right? Science should have been in control. The DHS overrode the CDC at key moments and caused the death of 300,000 people. We know that from a posthumous New England Medical Journal study, an epidemiological study, that we know 300,000 people lost their life specifically because of Trump's overriding of the CDC in key moments, and then another 300,000 died because of vaccine hesitancy. So we lost in the United States 1.2 million people during the pandemic. Half of those are directly attributed to either vaccine hesitancy from anti-vaxxers or direct actions from Trump. We know that. There is not up to question.
Dr. Fauci, did the NIH ever conduct research for or in coordination with any element of the intelligence community, CIA, ODN?
It's in Fauci's diary notes and emails. Dude, if you look through my group chat messages from me and my friends, guess what you're going to find? You're going to find messages of me having the biggest dick in the world. Okay? Guess what? You know, you could listen to me and you could believe me, all right, which thank you, or you could try to independently assess how valid those claims are, because there's a fact of the matter that exists, right? If you were going to try to independently verify that claim, you would be looking at rulers, you'd be looking at other people that have been with me, that kind of thing, right? You'd be investigating those claims independent of the source of the claim, of what me just saying words into the world, right? The same goes with science, right? It doesn't matter what he says in regards to the group chat. It doesn't matter what he says in the emails. There are sequencing data. There's qPCR data. There's virology. There's viruses in bat caves right now, guys, that match the sequence of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So explain that to me. Explain that. That is how we actually build knowledge. It's not through this just nonsense of like, oh, I went through his emails and I pulled out a couple sentences and that proves it. That doesn't prove anything. And if you think that that proves something, then you have some serious work to do to try to deconstruct how we understand the world. You genuinely do not understand how that science verifies claims in different ways. Multiple different types of experiments are all coming in from different angles in order to verify a single claim. So if you think that science is just like, oh, we're going to say this thing, that's what a hypothesis is. That's what we say, before we test something. Something like, what we're talking about here in the lab leak conspiracy, that's been debunked by multiple different realms, different pieces of evidence, different routes in order to assess that.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
The reason why these questions are important is, President Trump has done a ban, and we're glad that he did a ban on gain-of-function research, so we're better off than we were.
We haven't. Again, that's just wrong. So there is no ban on gain-of-function research. Like there are labs, right, within the United States that can't do proper science now, and the United States is now falling behind, but other countries understand that this is an important imperative way of going forward in assessing virology. Okay, so the idea that we just banned it so now it doesn't exist, that's not true. That's not true. It's important for you to realize that we are just falling further behind from being in the lead. The CDC used to be the gold standard in how to assess and to help mitigate a pandemic. We were the leaders, but now we aren't, and we are falling further behind. And Republicans, specifically like Rand Paul, are more interested in calculating the gallons of paint that we can glug down than actually understand the science and trying to prepare us for the next pandemic.
When we had an advocate serving as head of NIAID, an advocate for gain-of-function research, there is still, though, a question, though, whether or not the intelligence community is adhering to that order. There's a question of whether or not gain-of-function research is still ongoing. And these are important questions the American people deserve to know. Dr. Fauci, have you been read into any classified Department of Homeland Security program, any prospective special access program concerning gain-of-function research?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
When we look at the research in China, the gain-of-function research that you've denied was gain-of-function,
It's not.
one of the things that startled the scientists when they saw COVID in the
They
first
didn't.
couple of weeks was when
Didn't.
they looked at the sequence of it, they said, oh my God, there's a furin cleavage site in it. And in this particular family of coronaviruses, the sarbecoviruses, they'd never seen this before.
Yeah, completely incorrect. Completely incorrect. Like genome recombination events happen. Absolutely. The closest distant relative that we know of SARS-CoV-2 is rat G13, and we have found rat G13 Lego pieces, the pieces that put together to make rat G13 in bat coronavirus caves by Huanan, but all throughout there. We've sequenced those coronaviruses in those caves. We see the Lego pieces, and then we see them in sequence together to make the furin cleavage site. This is just complete anti-science conspiracy that is being pushed by Rand Paul. He doesn't understand molecular biology. He doesn't understand genetics. He doesn't understand genome recombination events because he's an ophthalmologist, okay? He is not a research scientist, and he should not talk about this as if he does.
They were also startled to look at it and see how it was coded for, what the codons were, and to just
what the codons were. Guys, yes, that's just, again, I don't understand. He's using jargon as if like for a surprise thing, but he doesn't understand what those words mean. He's just speaking gibberish right now. We were surprised what the codons were. What are you talking about?
that the codons used out of 36 different possibilities turned out to be the one that was commonly used in gene manipulation by scientists.
Oh my gosh, just and that's asinine, dude. Codon, the wobble bases are going to be 1 or 2 nucleotides apart. It just happens to be what it is. Codon usage bias exists in cells, guys. And the fact that the codon usage bias for the SARS-CoV-2, it's a surprising event, okay? That's just what it is. You aren't going to select for codon usages in regards to like a furin cleavage site. You're going to select for selection event to that inhibitor that it's binding to. So the ACE2, that in this case for SARS-CoV-2, that's the thing that you're really going to be targeting for those mutations. Again, he just doesn't understand any of this.
Dr. Fauci, were the scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology capable of inserting a furin cleavage site into a coronavirus?
Of course we can. Of course we can. But guess what? There are thumbprints on the vector that would be there that would be obvious in the genome of the virus. We could see that there are unique characteristics of when you work with a virus or with a plasmid or anything like that for bacteria, there's going to be unique thumbprints of it. So the idea that there is a single codon in there that is somehow the big smoking gun is ridiculous. The other one is we have restriction enzymes. This is actually the big thing in 2022. The House Republicans went out with a report talking about how, oh, this is the smoking gun, guys. This is the smoking gun. It was 300 pages, about 290 pages of emails, by the way, like 70% redacted. But I read it because that whatever. The only time that they actually talked about DNA or at all was when they were talking about, and they found the smoking gun was that they found restriction enzyme sites inside of the viral of the SARS-CoV-2 genome. Well, guess what, guys? I don't know what to tell you, but you have a restriction enzyme sites all throughout your genome as a human. So did you leak from a lab? Did you leak from a lab? Did you? I don't think so. Okay. So just the idea of these, he's using jargon, doesn't know what it means, and he's saying that oh, these jargons together, that means that the lab leak happened. This is nonsense. This is absolutely nonsense, and it's dangerous.
On the advice of counsel,
Base.
I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the
God,
Fifth Amendment of the
dude,
Constitution.
I seriously, you know what I want? I want freaking, you know what, the Key and Peele skit, the freaking Obama anger translator. Like instead of freaking going in with a, instead of going with those lawyer, man, I want to be in there and just let me, God, just let me at him. Just let me at him. Rand Paul, I officially am challenging you to a UFC cage match. I would absolutely, we should do it for charity. And we should absolutely do it. I mean, I'm just pointing it out there, okay? Just throwing it out. Just throwing it out there, guys.
So one of the
Give me
experiments that was
5
pretty
minutes.
common
Thank you, Michelle.
was they would take the backbone of a SARS virus, and this would be a SARS virus that the backbone itself wasn't that dangerous, but then they would dig through guano, 300 feet underground, bat guano. They'd find other viruses, unknown viruses. They'd take the S protein off of an unknown virus and stick it on a backbone. And then they would infect mice that have humanized cells. And they were trying to discover if they could create a virus that infects humans. Now, many people would say, well, gosh, that doesn't sound like a really good idea to create viruses that don't exist in nature to see if they'll infect human cells.
He is stumbling into what the big point of gain of function research is. Yes, it's to see how these changes in nucleotides will actually change and have a difference in binding potential or something like that. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Thank you for the crown and the galaxy, Michelle. Thank you.
What if one escaped? What if you keep infecting this and do serial passage? You actually.
Oh my God, what if they escaped? We have strict, like the viruses aren't capable of living outside. They aren't. Like the bacteria and stuff that we work in the lab, like isn't capable of living outside of those conditions. They're weak. They have a bunch of stuff knocked out. You know, they aren't capable of doing these type of things. Like it just doesn't exist.
Adapt the virus to be infectious to humans. So the question is whether or not Dr. Fauci, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, was combining an S protein with one virus with the backbone of others, and could this lead to a virus, maybe it wasn't even predicted, but could it lead to viruses that gained in function and then could lead to a pandemic?
Dude, theoretically, yes, but it wouldn't leak from that lab. It would be in the populations of coronaviruses that they sampled from the bat cave. And what we would do in response to that was that we would make a vaccine to target those mutations specifically, and we would watch this sequence over time to see if those mutations were starting to fix themselves in the population. If they started taking over, okay? If those in population numbers, those dangerous mutations started to accrue in the population, then yes, we would absolutely start making the vaccine preemptively, and we would start monitoring it to see if there would be a pandemic potential. That's what we do. That's why it's important. That's why gain of function research is so critical.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
One of the arguments that.
What does the diary prove? That he has a diary? I don't care. I don't care what his diary says. The diary could say 100 pages of him saying, I lab leaked, I did it myself. It doesn't matter what his diary says. What matters is what we can prove outside of these emails, these Slack messages, the diary, all that kind of stuff. That's how we understand the world, is through our independent investigations, not going through people's diaries. That's a little weird. That's a little weird.
That you and others have made against this virus coming from the lab is it couldn't have come from the viruses that have been published. And nobody's really arguing that. I think from the very beginning, people acknowledged that the viruses that have been published are too far evolutionarily distant from a virus that could have become COVID-19. But
Fauci has been wrong on many things. Go ahead. On what? On what? Go ahead. Like what on what? Please, I'll wait. Ruben, Ruben, he was inconsistent with his science. Prove it. Show me where. Show me where. How do you have any expertise in science to know if he was inconsistent or not? Like, what is that? The masks at first. The masks, he was right about the masks. He was right. At the time, you know what the reality of that mask comment was? The mask comment was that that the USPS was actually going to send out a mask to every single person in the United States, and Trump overrode them. That's the reality, that we were going to send out masks and we were going to send things out to people so that people could not spread it more readily when masks were limited. And Trump stopped the mask program from going out. So on the contrary, actually, he was completely right about masks.
What has never been acknowledged by the side who tries to call the other side a conspiracy theory, which is really something you don't usually see in a scientific debate. This is the first time I've ever seen an article printed in Lancet by your friends who called this a conspiracy theory.
You are a conspiracy theorist, Rand Paul. You are a conspiracy theorist. That's what you are. This isn't scientific. The only people that have actually been investigating the origins of SARS-CoV-2 relentlessly since it happened are scientists. We have about 3 or 4 dozen publications now that are looking at where the sequence came from, showing that it came from the bat caves, showing the population genetics. We are tirelessly still investigating that as the scientific community. The only people that have completely made up their mind and are now pushing this ideology are dipshits like Rand Paul that have a political and a motive in order to get and jingle his little keys in front of Republican voters to get donations so that he can win re-election. That's what's happening right now. Rand Paul is basically trying to clip farm Fauci for donations, and he's smearing the entire scientific community in order to do that, and making us all more unsafe in order to do that as well.
These are the kind of things you see as a screed on a political, website. You don't really see this in science. But when they release this as being a conspiracy theory, we're wondering that when you do this, when you combine these viruses and are able to grow them in humanized cells, whether or not
Fauci said that there was no Wuhan lab. Of course, he thought that there was a Wuhan Institute of Virology. What are you talking about? Dude, just absolute nonsense, man. Like, what are you talking about? Have I ever had an original thought in your life, or do I regurgitate MS Now talking points? Bro, I have a PhD in microbiology. I have read more scientific papers in the last year than you have in your entire life. You have no idea about the published research on this. You have not read Warby 2022. You have not read Picard 2022. You have not read Christoph 2024. You have no idea what you're talking about. So the idea that you come in here and you think that any of this, by the way, is even on MSNBC, they don't let research scientists on MSNBC. It's actually very frustrating to me, the lack of support that the scientific community actually gets on mainstream media. This is the thing that actually makes me so mad, because it does show that these liberals are using science as a wedge issue and aren't actually supporting science. By not supporting scientists, they're not supporting science. So they jingle this idea of, Trump is anti-science in order to get people riled up. But when it comes down to it, they aren't going to have a bunch of research scientists on trying to explain this stuff. They're not. They might have a physician or someone on that has, that has some medical knowledge on there. But are they going to have a research scientist on? No. And that's what's so frustrating about this, because research scientists are exploited, and our wages were exploited by the lack of federal funding that's happening right now. We're exploited in the fact that our voices are silenced in the media. There are no research scientists as science communicators at the national or global levels. And that's what's so frustrating. So the fact that this is actually getting any play, and that we are pushing up this nonsense that's only going to harm science more, where is the liberal media? Where is this progressive media onslaught that you're talking about? I wish we actually had support as a scientific community, but we don't. Souls, thank you so much. Dr. Fauci is a renowned immunologist that has done amazing work and helped so many other people over the course of his career. He's a hero. End of story. Exactly, Souls. I mean, the guy like is a renowned researcher and a physician scientist, for 40 years out even before the pandemic. And the public service can happen outside of the military. I think it's very important for people to realize that you can selflessly dedicate your career to science or in order to give back to the community at large. You don't have to just be in the military. And I really do think that someone who is a public servant like Fauci has done more in order to improve your life than the military or anything like that. I genuinely do think that. But in our society, we prop up, the military as opposed to any type of scientists or something like that. I mean, sometimes we get first responders or something, right? Where it's like nurses or ambulance people, which is nice, which is cool. Public health servants absolutely do need to get their day in the media, and I think that that's very important. But where do the scientists stand? When do the scientists get our day? Either we don't. We get shunned constantly.
This kind of risky research, whether you call it gain of function or not, whether you use the definition of gain of function, whether this kind of research should have had more scrutiny. I think in your House testimony, you testified that you never traveled to China and that you were unaware that anybody at NIH ever examined the labs, that you trusted the Chinese scientists. I think you said that even recently, that with your discretion, you trusted the Chinese scientists. The problem is that even in our country, we trust our scientists. They're good American scientists, probably doing the right thing
No,
for
you don't.
America. But
What? You don't at all. What are you talking about? We trust our scientists? What is he talking about? He's defunding all of science, research science right now. What are you talking about? 15,000 federal scientists have been cut from the federal government right now. Every single grant is now going to be line item vetoed by the president of the United States. Like what? Like we respect our scientists. What is he talking about? What is this nonsense? God.
at the same time, we oversight to make sure it's not dangerous research, but we also investigate the lab. I believe Fort Detrick was one of our main labs was closed down in the last year or two because of research institute, a research incident that was dangerous with dangerous pathogens. And so the American people would want to know, how could you approve this dangerous research in China, say that you trusted the Chinese scientists, and then in the end, you had to admit that you'd never been there, and none of your inspectors had ever been there. Dr. Fauci, had any of the labs where this dangerous research was occurring, were any American lab oversight or lab investigators, did they ever appear in these labs to make sure that they were safe labs?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights.
Let's be serious. Let's take it down. I'm sorry. I just want to say though, in regards to oversight and making sure the deeds have been done, I just want to say that it's really important, the oversight and the due diligence reports get done, that they are needed. And I just want to let Rand Paul know that I am up to date on all of my due diligence reports, and I'm held fully accountable at the rate that I ravage his mom every night and all the pleasure that she gets, and the return on investment reports that I file with him and his father in order to make sure that she has the best possible time. So it's really important that we have and we continue to make sure that all scientists are held accountable. So thank you for what you do, Rand Paul. I appreciate you.
Under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So one of the main theories for those who have looked at this being created in the lab was the idea that could have come from a virus not previously published. Dr. Fauci, are you aware that Dr. Shi, who worked for the Wuhan Institute of Virology, was said to, and I think in her own words, to have over 100 viruses that had not been previously published that could have been a close enough relative to create COVID-19? Are you aware
None
of
of
that?
them were. None of them were in the lineage. We know this. We literally have done the molecular forensics. We know the phylogenetics. None of them could have been and created SARS-CoV-2. We understand this. We see this. Okay, just the idea that like any virus could have just became SARS-CoV-2. This is like, it's so dangerous and wrong for people to think that.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Under your testimony
Amazing.
previously, when
So
you
good.
denied ever having funded gain of function in China, it was so adamant as to be striking, to leave no room for any interpretation of what is or isn't gain of function research. But there's another important question. Did you fund gain of function research in other biolabs around the world?
I hope so. I hope so.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights
That's so
under the
good.
Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
The one research project that we do know you did fund is the one that Ron Fouchier did. And it's important to talk about because this sort of was the beginning of the debate over gain of function. And this wasn't just me. I wasn't even aware of the debate 10 years ago. This was other scientists, over 200 scientists.
Oh
the
my
Cambridge
God.
Working Group signed a protest because they didn't think you should fund the research, and they didn't think it should even be published because it was sort of a roadmap as to how to make a bioweapon. So what they did was,
Dude, what are you talking about? Trump shifted funding from one discipline to another. One, why do you think that the president of the United States has line item veto on the exact grants that are being proposed and that are signed off by Congress? What do you think gives the president the ability to go in by individual grant by grant in order to do that? Two, he didn't go from one discipline to the other. He just cut it. He cut he cut billions of dollars in these grants whole cloth, and he held the universities ransom in order to get that funding back. So again, he didn't shift it. He just stopped it entirely. So again, you just no idea what you're talking about.
the avian flu, and this is important. It may be the most important question we get to here today. The avian flu has about 50% mortality for humans. The good news, though, about animal viruses is they don't infect humans very well. It will infect humans.
What are you
It
talking
doesn't
about?
go human to human very well.
What?
Ron Fouchier, with the money that you provided to him, did an experiment where he caused purposeful mutations to create a new virus, an avian flu that didn't just infect birds well, but actually infected mammals well, went ferret to ferret in an aerosolized manner. People saw this and were aghast. You know,
He's right. It wasn't intraspecies. What are you talking about, dude? Of course it does. The reservoirs are absolutely intraspecies. Again, Ruben, like, who do you think you are, bro? Like, what are you talking about? It just blows my mind that you guys have these just insane ideas and you push this. It's just so funny. The fact that he doesn't answer any questions and you just laugh is disgusting. These aren't serious questions that Rand Paul is asking right now. These aren't serious questions. These are clickbait. He's trying to ask questions that specifically make him look bad for pleading the fifth and making it so he can clip it. That he's not actually like having an actual investigation on what the facts of the matter are. He's just isn't. So the fact that you think so is really really telling.
at the decision-making process that you decided to fund this. But this is when, the debate came about, and you wrote in support of this in the Washington Post, and you said, even if a scientist is bitten, even if a pandemic should occur, the knowledge is worth the risks. Do you still stand by that? Would you like to qualify at all whether or not the knowledge of
Americans on both sides lost family members, and they listened to Fauci because that was the science guy. Yeah, 1.2 million people lost their life, and guess what the Republicans do? The Republicans push and uphold people that say that the 1.2 million people didn't actually die from the virus, they died from the vaccine. That is the type of actual truth-seeking investigation that they are out after. They push up and they head the HHS, people that are anti-science, that are against vaccines. If you think that your big takeaway from the pandemic is that we should have had less vaccines or that viruses don't exist, you're dangerous and you're wrong. So yeah, I'm sorry, we shouldn't push up and elevate these people. The real lesson from the pandemic was that we needed to vaccinate more. We needed a higher rollout of an ease of accessibility of it. And then we also needed to test earlier the people that were coming in from Europe specifically, and quarantine those people so that they didn't community spread. And by the way, and the cruise line that was in Southern California that Trump overrode the CDC for and just let them out in Southern California. It's wildly, wildly dangerous what Trump did during the pandemic, but he gets held to zero accountability because Republicans don't think that viruses are real now. They are so entrapped in this idea that everything is making us more dirty or poisoned or whatever, because of the allure of RFK's Maha movement, that they refuse to actually see that viruses exist, viruses cause disease, and vaccines are the best thing that we have in order to fight viruses. That's just the reality, guys. That I don't. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. That's what the fact of the matter is. Before vaccines, hundreds of millions of people died in the 1900s. Okay, childhood mortality was 50%. 50% of kids used to die before puberty. Okay, but 150 years ago, it wasn't until antibiotics and vaccines that allowed childhood mortality to decrease to like less than 1% that it is right now. And 5 million people, their lives are saved every year because of vaccines. Okay, it's really really important. It's like 4 million kids and like 1 million adults. So absolutely, it's important. People died listening to you, like to you, Tony. Exactly. Exactly, dude. People died like being vaccine hesitant. That's the problem, is that we as a society, we didn't come down on anti-vaxxers enough. We coddled anti-vax physicians way too much. And we still do, by the way. We still do. And idiots like Rand Paul are actually trying to give cover to these people and are trying to stop them from being held accountable. So that's why we have a lowering vaccine rate for MMR, for example. And that's why we have rampant community spread right now in the United States. And measles is spreading because of dipshits like Rand Paul. Okay? He is hurting not only our posthumous retrospective on how to do pandemics better, but he's hurting us in the future by spreading disease, by spreading viruses already. And that's what's happening right now. Okay, it's not like some, oh man, if only we had known, or if we don't really know how this is going to impact. No, we know right now that people are getting less vaccinated, and this is causing stuff to come back that wasn't even in the United States for 25 years.
A function is worth the risks, particularly in this case, since we now know 15 million people died worldwide. Many people believe this came from the lab. Do you think that the risks really are worth the benefits?
Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this badass photo of freaking Fauci, dude. That's awesome. I love that. Dude, that is base. I love that.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon.
Why wouldn't he just answer the questions though? What would we get? Yes, they're trying to trip him up. They are completely frustrated that Biden outthought him. They basically got outmaneuvered by Biden. Biden outmaneuvered them, pardoned Fauci, and now they can't go after Fauci. So they're trying to get him to say something so that he can be entrapped and that they could relentlessly pursue right now and basically the pardon is for things that he had done in the past, but maybe they trip him up right now into saying something so that they could say, well, your pardon didn't cover you from this, and we're going to go after you for that. That's why.
Upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
All right. We're going to finish with this question, and it's based really on that statement, that general statement in your support for gain of function, the idea that the benefits outweigh the risks. So there are many other people who disagree, and they aren't politicians or not. I don't know what party they're in. David Relman is probably one of the most esteemed.
Let's go, anti-fascist frog. The anti-fascist frog, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely legend. I always love to see you, man. Appreciate you.
And he is a scientist at Stanford. He, I think, has classified clearance. He's been a consultant to our government probably for a decade or more. And he's written about this publicly. He says the opposite. He said that the risks of this research do not outweigh the benefits. He said the risks, we shouldn't do it. Richard E. Bright.
Imagine a single person. Oh my gosh, they found a single person that doesn't feel like vaccines are worth it. Oh my gosh, guys, or gain of function research or virology research. Oh my gosh, a single guy. Wow, they found the one dentist out of 100 that says clean, like brushing your teeth is dangerous. So nobody should brush their teeth anymore, guys. I mean, this is just nonsense.
Involved in this debate for 2 decades says the same thing. Says we really shouldn't be doing this at all. There's a quote also by.
Look at the thing in the background. That's so funny.
At the very end. Kevin Esvelt, who's a CRISPR scientist at MIT, also wrote about this gain of function. I implore every scientist, funder, and nation.
Wait, I want to look this up. Who is this?
Kevin Esvelt, who's a CRISPR scientist at MIT, also wrote about this gain of function. I implore every scientist, funder, and nation working in the field, please stop. No more trying to discover or make pandemic-capable viruses. No more experiments likely to disseminate blueprints for plagues. Dr. Fauci, would you like to at least answer this one question for us today and let us know whether or not you've changed your mind on whether or not the benefits of gain-of-function research outweigh the risks?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
The chairman has denied your assertion of privilege and directed you to answer, but you nonetheless refuse and stand on privilege despite the existence of the pardon. The committee will have to consider after this hearing what appropriate action should be taken against you for the failure to testify after being directed to do so. It's against the law to obstruct an investigation of Congress. There will be repercussions to your refusal.
I love that. I love that. I love it. And by the way, Trump himself has shown that there is no repercussions from this stuff. You basically, if it does go that far and there are charges brought to you, guess what? You just get a pardon from it, and there it is. Joey, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you. I know, Joey. I know, man. It is. It's incredibly frustrating. Yeah, I know, man. It is. It is absolutely wild. Is it true though that you can't take the fifth if you're given a pardon? I don't know. I don't know like whether or not I would basically if you do take the fifth, if you take your, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you liked that video, like and subscribe. I'm going to keep streaming. So come on, and check out the stream video below if you want to keep watching or hang out and watch one of my lives later. Peace. Okay. Sorry, I had to do that for the YouTube. I had to do that for the YouTube. It's a federal thing. Yeah, I think so. I think it's like getting a pardon is saying that you're kind of like admitting guilt and you're saying that you did something. So then how could you take the fifth if you've admitted that or something like that. I forget what it is. I forget what it is. Joe, you're a legend, man. Hope you had a good stream, man. What did you listen to from the diary that led you to the conclusions that you have, Tone? There is nothing. Rand Paul has nothing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, dude. Like there's nothing in the diary that would make it doesn't matter. Like nothing in the diary accounts for the actual science that we have, guys. We have DNA in caves inside or RNA inside of coronaviruses, inside of bat caves. Like, contend with that. Contend with that. Like, it's just, and guess what? And you know what the reality is? The reality is that science gives us an ability to know things that conspiracies don't. And I can give you one right now. I will give you something right now that not a single lab leaker has ever told you and can never tell you because conspiracies don't build knowledge. Basically, there are two genetically divergent strains of SARS-CoV-2 that outbroke from the wet market 1 week apart. So 1 week apart, there was lineage A and then lineage B at the wet market that outbroke, okay? So we know that through phylogenetics. This is Picard 2022. It's obviously it's been shown. We know it to be true. So not a single lab leaker even knows that. They've never even talked about that. And any type of lab leak conspiracy would have to contend with that. Basically, they would have to outbreak two separate genetically divergent strains 1 week after one another in order for that to be true. Have you ever heard a lab leak conspiracy person say that? Or say that there were two different events or two different lab leaks? No, because they don't understand the molecular biology. They don't understand the genetics. They don't understand the phylogenetics. They have never done the actual bedrock research that creates the knowledge so that we can understand this stuff, right? But we get this nonsense that is being pushed by these people because people don't know, right? And people don't realize the danger what's happening. There is no lab leak denialism. Lab leak is a conspiracy and it's never been shown to be proven whatsoever with any scientific data at all. And it doesn't contend with the actual fact of the matter data that we have. It just doesn't, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it just doesn't. We haven't had a single piece of scientific evidence to show that. Okay, well, Jeffrey Sachs disagrees. Who the fuck is Jeffrey Sachs? The only sack that I got is for your mom. What are you talking about? Who the fuck? Jeffrey? I don't even know who Jeffrey Sachs is. He's an economist? What are you talking? Are you serious? Are you serious? This is the guy that Jeffrey Sachs? He's an economist and publicly okay. Right, dude. Right. So he has no background in this. So he has no idea what he's talking about, just letting you know. So just letting you know. He knows nothing, literally nothing about this. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. He has no formal conspiracy. He has nothing. In spring 2020, editor of The Lancet appointed Sachs as chair of the COVID commission, whose goal was to provide recommendations for public health policy and improve the practice of medicine during the pandemic. Sachs set up a number of task forces, including one of the origins of the virus. Sachs appointed British American disease ecologist Peter Daszak to head the task force, who has previously led the project EcoHealth Alliance, working at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Sachs became increasingly drawn to the lab leak theory, which posited that the SARS-CoV-2 virus was released from the Chinese laboratory, causing him to come into conflict with Daszak and the many other scientists. Wow, it seems like the people that had expertise had one thing, and Sachs was an economist and didn't know what the hell he was talking about and got pissy about it. Daszak left as the chair of the task force in 2021, and Sachs disbanded the group. Okay, so he has no idea what he's talking about. It's not that hard. In 2022, the Sachs said that the COVID-19 may leaked out of the biotechnology lab, which is considered by the EU to be the COVID disinformation by China. Okay. However, he said that, quote, both hypotheses were viable at this stage, referring to the virus's emergence either through natural environment or from the lab. Okay, did you hear that? The person that said that this guy is the creme de la creme, by the way. Oh my God. Peter McCullough that is wild. Are you serious? Peter McCullough on? Peter McCullough is an incredibly dangerous and awful person. They just goes to show how bad Dr. Drew is, that he actually thinks that McCullough had his license stripped because he was putting out dangerous disinformation during the pandemic, saying that there were blood clots like that were happening from the vaccine, and that was not true whatsoever. He had never published this in any type of peer review journal, yet he was fear mongering about it while selling ivermectin. Wow, it's so crazy. Peter McCullough, all these idiots are grifting and making money off of you, selling you supplements, vaccine detoxes, all this ivermectin box nonsense. And meanwhile, what am I getting out of it? What am I getting out of this? Like these guys are lying and getting you to subscribe to $100 a month for a vitamin pack. I'm out here doing actually the hard work of trying to teach you virology, qPCR, population genetics. Like it'd be much easier, by the way, if I was the other way and if I was unscrupulous and I'd make more money and it would be more popular and my streams would be more popular, because conspiracies are easy to sell. Conspiracies are an easy way to explain a hard subject, and they rely on fear in order to get people going. And it's absolutely a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace, man. And August 2022, Sachs said on a podcast of RFK Jr. that officials such as Fauci were not being honest about the origins of COVID. So again, Sachs doesn't know what he's talking about. And again, he keeps repeating the claim, even though he has no scientific basis in order to say this. Critics of Sachs accused him of playing politics with the commission and fanning the flames of conspiracy theory. In 2022, the Lancet Commission published its report on the pandemic following the 2-year investigation, stating that the origin of the virus remained unknown. The two possible explanations required further scientific investigation, which is honestly a really chicken shit answer, genuinely, because all the scientific evidence is only one way. That it just is. It's just, I don't know what to tell you guys. It just is only one way. You could sell us some vitamins. No, that's the problem. You know what, dude? You have no idea how many like peptide companies have reached out to me trying to get me as a spokesperson. Like I could be making a lot more money on this stream than I do, but I refuse to. But it's not like I'm going to get any credit from anyone for that. Dude, exactly, bro. Having no ethics pays more. Yeah, exactly. I don't think people are willing to give up their license for something that temporary. They do. Ruben, you don't understand that people during the pandemic were able to relaunch their failed careers. They literally reimagined their entire persona, and they made a ton of money off of the fact that they were willing to say things that were lies to people. And it was a very lucrative time. People went from failed businessmen to getting appointed into the Trump administration with the RFK and the HHS. It was a good move for a lot of these people. You know, they were able to fail upward. Oh, dude, I would love Peter McCullough to come on. I would love it. I would love it. Any of these people, I would gladly have any of these people on. I would dare them to come into any. I would dare them to be within earshot of me. I dare them. I do, bro. You don't understand. They would never come on. They would never come on. Do it, bro. You do it. Hell, he's not gonna listen to me. What are you talking about? Bro, I can't even get on to like small podcasts. Like, what are you talking about? You think that McCullough is gonna come onto my show, bro? What are you talking about? You have a really like it's very nice of you that you think that this is hey, my title is world famous, and I appreciate you listening to me, but it's not that way, okay? What's the best best way to get my answer question is about evolution? You can answer it right now. Yeah, exactly. They would never come here. Exactly, dude. I know. They would never come. Exactly, Nico. Robert Malone is the best example of that. Robert Malone completely relaunched his career and renamed this whole idea that he's the inventor of the mRNA lipid nanoparticle because of that. It's absolutely big. No, thank you, my wise. You're really kind. Really, really kind. I appreciate you. Watch him get destroyed on Professor Dave's channel. Yeah, McCullough is an awful, awful person. Like genuinely. This disinformation agents themselves, the people that actually make money off of doing this nonsense, deserve no quarter, and they absolutely deserve to be ripped to shreds. And we should stop coddling them in our society. And we should realize that the only reason that these people exist is because they were given a license to do medicine, and that license is given by the state, okay, by our society, and we should and we can remove those licenses of physicians or nurses that push anti-vax nonsense. So that's what it is. Yeah, exactly. They are bottom feeders. It is a certain type of person that not only is a bottom feeder, but they also they discount the reality, the 1.2 million people that died in the United States. That really pisses me off. And then two, the fact that they actually make money off of that. It absolutely. I set the tone. Why don't you email? Why don't you email? My sister-in-law should be removed. I mean, if she is actively anti-vaccine and pushing people not to be vaccinated while on the clock, absolutely. If she's using the position of power that she has in order to disseminate conspiracies and push people away from scientifically valid medical treatments, then absolutely she should have it. Yeah. Why would a scientist have a failed career? Ruben, are you serious? I don't. Are you joking? Why would a scientist have a failed career? Their science can fail, their institution could fail, their like, what do you mean? Like, what why do you think that being a scientist is like this is the thing, bro. You think that being a scientist, we are like instantly in this global cabal thing that now we're like on the golden road. It's like it's the opposite. Like research science is one of the most exploited roles in our society that gives the biggest amount of benefit that we all enjoy. It's embarrassing. It's really sad. Yeah, exactly. Those with ridiculous claims, by very definition, need to be ridiculed. Exactly. We should give no quarter to these people whatsoever. I know, but what would cause someone to lose their license if they are using their position of power that is to do harm, right? The whole point of the Hippocratic Oath is like do no harm, and if they are using that position of power that's given to them by the state in order to do harm for people, that's when their licenses are removed, and they should be. More people should have had their license removed. McCullough had his license removed. Um, Dude, he pushed all the stuff. Like McCullough, yeah, McCullough is an awful person. Oh, just such a good point. People need to go spend time in third world countries and see what we have medically. Exactly. It is a privilege to have vaccines, right? It is an absolute privilege that we have in our society that we have access to vaccines. Um, Other countries like line up or walk miles in order to get vaccines, and here we are privileged enough to not have these diseases being spread by viruses and pathogens, and yet people bemoan that. It's absolutely gross. It's absolutely gross. I wonder how COVID vaccine givers are feeling. Pretty good. COVID vaccines give heart protection. They protect you from cancer, and they also make your tumors more susceptible to anti-tumor medications. So yeah, really good. I'm really happy that I've gotten all the boosters, and I'm happy that my kids have gotten them. I'm glad that my wife got the COVID shot when she was pregnant. And yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, exactly. Republicans would rather focus on the past that happened 6 years ago instead of funding Medicare and Medicaid and trying to fix healthcare in the United States. Exactly. The idea that, like, at the same time they're doing all this anti-science stuff, they're also removing like healthcare access to so many people. Like, wow, guys, I wonder if they have our best, if they have our best ideas in mind. Like, I wonder. My friend told me that the idea of evolution is rooted in racism. Can you expand on that? No, I have no idea what the hell what that is. I have no idea. Like, genuinely, evolution happened. Evolution is a fact of biology. I like that's people will incorrectly say that there is like race realism or some nonsense, but that's all incorrect. And people that are racist do try to cherry pick different aspects of genetics in order to prove their and basically give like a physical characteristic to their racism, but it's not true. It's not founded in science. Yeah, I think so, Nico. I think it was. Yeah, exactly. Nice, Spark. I got all my vaccines and I'm happy. Good work. I volunteered as an injector at, in a vaccine clinic. Oh, wow. You're awesome, Ness. Wow, that's really cool. Why did Fauci so grafted human fetal skin onto mice and rats to study the immune system response? I don't know. I mean, it sounds like a good study. It sounds like a good time. I know they keep talking about this too. Yeah, exactly. Republicans talking about masks in 2026 out of sheer desperation, lying to listen to lying grifters who profit off the deaths of others as experts simply because they tell them what they want to hear. Exactly. Or like give them positions in the government. Why? Completely they have no actual expertise in this whatsoever, but they're just gonna do it. It's like, okay. Oh, it's just science is disgusting. Well, then don't do science, bro. Dude, they did not take baby scalps. So what are you talking about, dude? It's so wild. What do you mean? Oh, I didn't. I did not know that, Ness. Every weekend for 6 months? That's incredible. Aw. Coming from my heart, Ness. I think racism tied to that is because they found earlier humans in certain places on the earth. I mean, those are hominins that existed. So like you had, there's a whole line of like descendants. There's like a dozen hominins that existed: Denisovans, Neanderthals, um, Homo habilis, Australopithecus, all this kind of stuff. They should have pushed and promoted vitamin B and D, and the outcome would have been better. Bro, I'm promoting D, vitamin D all day. What hominins? Hominins. Hominins. Yes. Yes, Amy, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we're Homo sapiens. So Homo is the genus, and then basically we're all homos. Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, we have a Neanderthal and Denisovan DNA in our um in our genomes right now. Dude, Ruben, you're killing me. I thought that was just a European thing. So basically, Neanderthal DNA is correlated with how often or how long your ancestors stayed in northern Africa, which is or southern Europe around like Turkey, basically. So it's basically like 1 to 3% of your genome is Neanderthal, depending on like where and how long your ancestors stayed there. So first humans weren't just in Africa, but many parts in the world. So there's the out of Africa hypothesis, so that we basically there's multiple movements out of Africa that hominids had. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of it, the cradle, you had like some going to southern Africa, you had central to northern Africa into Europe, and there were other like migrations that happened. Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, it was waves out of Africa. Exactly. I don't, yeah, I think Ruben is a garlic salesman. I think so. Homo. Exactly. Homo squared, technically. Homo squared. Let's listen to Fox News. Let's do Dr. Drew McCullough. Oh my God, this is an hour and a half long. This is oh my God, he's on there all the time, dude. What an absolute crackpot, dude. Holy shit. Look at this. Dude, Dr. Drew, man. I remember listening to Loveline, like on K-Rock. Man, that was good times. Those are back in the day. And then he just completely went crazy, dude. I'm sorry, but like if you're pushing this stuff, you've lost the plot, bro. Lost the plot. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. McCullough, look at all these times that he's on. He's just constantly on. Every couple of weeks he goes on. He has an hour and a half. Oops. Whoops.
Jeffrey Tucker as a result of the pandemic, and in particular because of Dr. Fauci.
Oh my God, he really is on for that long. Oh no, he's just on for a little bit, and then he goes. Okay. Here we go. Dr. Fauci faces Senate gain-of-function hearing, pleads the Fifth with Peter McCullough. Let's see him on Dr. Drew and see what they actually say.
Today, he was questioned in front of a Senate committee and invoked the Fifth Amendment something like 111 times. The hearing was led by Dr. Rand Paul, Senator Ron Paul.
Let's see what he says here. So in the bottom here, it says board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. So when they show McCullough, they cannot say he is board certified because he has had his license removed. So let's see what he actually says here.
And the question is, one of the questions that remains is, does he have the ability to invoke the Fifth Amendment when there is no opportunities to what's the word I'm looking for, where you say something that makes you look guilty. He has full immunity in all things. So other than contempt, which he seems to have already put himself in sort of the possibility of contempt, it's hard to know why he used the Fifth Amendment, but it was under the advice of counsel.
I love that. I love all the Republicans are like, what do you mean that you shouldn't though? Like, you shouldn't. Like, we have the best. We have your best. Your best outcome in mind, Dr. Fauci. Like, why are you doing the Fifth though? You don't need to. Why would you ever listen to them?
And Dr. McCullough, of course, is a cardiologist, a decorated physician, chief scientific.
Oh, again, can't say board certified. Can't say board certified. Decorated.
Officer of the Wellness Company.
The Wellness Company.
_ McCullough, MD, CULLO.
There he is. The Wellness Company.
And Jeffrey Tucker from the Brownstone Institute. He too is someone who has been suffering mightily during and since.
Wow, guys. I wonder what the Wellness Company does. Let's see what the Wellness Company. Oh my God. Ultimate Spike Detox Kits. Terzepatides. Wow. Ivermectin. Get your ivermectin here. Wow. Holy shit. No way. I can't believe that he's selling supplements. No. Whoa. Unbelievable, dude. Crazy. Oh my gosh, Ultimate Spike Detox. Finally feel yourself again with the McCullough protocol to help beat brain fog, which probably means that you actually did get SARS-CoV-2 infection. So that's like probably why, because you actually, yes, long COVID is from SARS-CoV-2. 91% of tested patients reported decreased spike levels. Spike levels of what? How does that even make sense? You don't have mRNA being made anymore? Like, what is that nonsense? Like, what are you talking about? Incredible. As a nurse, I don't follow health trends easily. After reviewing Mr. Collow's research, what an idiot. What an absolute idiot. I used this product for the second time after having COVID. I tracked my resting heart rate. Wow, I had COVID 3 times and never fully recovered. My taste and smell. Here he is.
I'm Dr. Peter McCullough, Chief Scientific Officer of the Wellness Company. Thousands of patients have come into my clinic asking the same question. How do I get spike proteins out of my body?
Yeah. If only we had like a vaccine in order to do that. I wonder. Oh my God. Look at, oh my God. So you have the ultimate, guys. You got the regular and then you got the ultimate. Why would you get the spike detox when you could get the ultimate spike detox? Ah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Fuck. Oh my gosh. Wow. Incredible. Turmeric. Wow. That's definitely the best. Look at this guy. This is crazy. I wonder how many of these people have had their licenses removed. Oh, there's Dr. Drew. He's on the board. He's on the board of the wellness. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. Guys, he didn't say that. He didn't say that he is also on the board of the wellness committee. Bro, that is a huge conflict of interest. He has McCullough on, and he's a psychologist. He's a psychologist on the chief medical board. What? Dude, that is a huge conflict of interest. Oh my gosh, self-promotion, others do it all the time. Dude, Ruben, you are so unscrupulous, bro. Unbelievable. You just completely hand wave all the corruption that happens. People do Fauci is not selling anything, dude. That's the difference. Fauci isn't selling anything, bro. That we aren't. We aren't. We just aren't. Like it's insane, bro. Like, you say that, but then there is no evidence of Fauci or anyone sitting there selling a monthly subscription model of the shit that they're selling. Like it's just completely wrong, bro. It's just unbelievable.
This COVID debacle, as Kelly Victor likes to call it.
COVID
Fauci's
debacle.
diary is something that interests him
guys,
greatly.
it's not a pandemic
And
anymore.
he
It's
and
a
I were
debacle.
just talking about tragic opera in the preamble up to this show. And in fact, he has used the term tragedy and catharsis in relation to the testimony today. And we'll see why he's feeling that way after this.
Our laws as it pertains to substances are
What is this?
draconian and bizarre.
Wow.
He was an alcoholic because of social media and pornography, PTSD,
Relationship expert.
fentanyl and heroin. Ridiculous. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. Where the hell do you think I learned that? I'm just saying, you go to treatment before you kill people. I am a clinician. I observe things about these chemicals. Let's just deal with what's real. We used to get these calls on Loveline all the time. Educate adolescents and to prevent and to treat. If you have trouble you can't stop and you want to help stop it, I can help. I got a lot to say. I got a lot more to say.
Wow, he's so brave. He's so brave. Wow.
The book is Vaccines, Mythology, Ideology, and Reality, and The Courage to Face COVID-19, Preventing Hospitalization and Death while Battling the Biopharmaceutical Complex.
Oh my gosh.
Dr. McCullough, thank you for joining us here on the show.
What an absolute look at the wellness company, the ad there. Dude, this is wild, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Not looking good, dude. He's not looking good.
Follow Dr. McCullough on X. I said P_McCullough MD. The Substack is The Focal Points, thefocalpoints.com. PeterMcCulloughMD.com is the website. And we mentioned the books. And Dr. McCullough, it warrants going back, you know, this thing we all witnessed today, which was sort of extraordinary, but it warrants going back in history. And I wonder if you would talk a little bit about who you were as we went into the pandemic and what the idiot politicians, as Senator Moran.
Oh, see, guys, see, they can't say board certified here. They all they can say is right here, Chief Scientific Officer of the Wellness Company. So they can't say he's board certified physician anymore. Hey, at least they're not lying. You know, that's good, I guess.
Refer to them. What their idiot politician policies were because of Dr. Fauci and what that did to your career.
So they're basically saying like, explain why, explain to us why you got all your licenses removed because you're so brave. You're willing to speak truth to power. Oh, you're such a good guy. Oh, and then they were so mean to you. And now here we go. The MAGA cry bully, where they have the cry bully. Oh, I'm the victim. Oh, I'm the victim. It's not the people that I hurt. It's me. I'm actually the victim here. Before you go here, let's actually read what McCullough, okay, this guy on the right, this fraud on the right, actually got his stuff removed from, okay? He got his stuff removed from, let's see. Let's see, because he was going around. I mean, honestly, he was one of the worst ones in the beginning of the pandemic, and there was so much that he was talking about anti-vaccine messaging, the blood clot nonsense that wasn't true. He would publicly contradict health recommendations. Let's see. I'm trying to find the actual thing. Let's see where it actually was. Revoked both of his certifications. ABIM revokes certification of another doctor who made controversial claims. Okay, let's check it out real quick. The American Board of Internal Medicine revoked the board certifications of McCullough, a cardiologist who promoted controversial views on COVID-19. In search of IBIM's certification lookup tool, McCullough's certifications in both internal medicine and cardiovascular disease are both listed as not certified, revoked. It's not exactly clear when they were, but they were. They don't comment on them. Okay, so yeah, they don't have the exact report. Okay. So anyway, but he became more of an outspoken against the COVID-19 vaccines. He claimed there were no scientific reasons for healthy people under 50 to get vaccinated, which is completely untrue. And those who have recovered from COVID get the vaccine. And has asserted that tens of thousands of Americans have died from the vaccines. Not true again. McCullough and his former employer parted ways in February 2021, and not long after, the health system sued McCullough, alleging his illegitimately affiliation himself with the facilities when promoting controversial views. The lawsuit claimed that for months after McCullough's employment had ended, he continued to use his former professional titles, such as Vice Chief of Internal Medicine at Baylor University, in media interviews when he shared his views on the pandemic. So, yeah, he was a huge problem during the pandemic, and rightfully so. He got all his licenses removed.
Yeah, I was a full professor of medicine at a major medical center, one of the most published people in my
He can't say Baylor. He can't say, that's so funny. So now we know why he can't say Baylor right here, because they sued him and to stop that.
field in the world. Editor of an inaugural textbook, co-editor and editor of 2 major journals, and someone who, through the course of my training, we revered Dr. Fauci. Fauci played a big role in the whole development of virology and HIV and infectious diseases. And he published in some big textbooks, as I did. But as the pandemic rolled out, we realized quickly that somehow the government was getting some very bad advice. It turns out it was coming from Fauci. He was undermining.
Yeah, it wasn't Trump overriding him. It was Fauci in and of himself. It was Fauci personally, guys. Fauci personally was up there charging everything, telling everyone what to do. Famously, Trump lets everyone else, really run the show in his administration. So that totally tracks with what we can understand.
Others on the White House task force, including one of my medical school graduates, Brett Giroir from UT Southwestern in Dallas. Brett Giroir was in charge of testing. He's trying to do the best job he can. We found out that Fauci was undermining him. And then Fauci casts this entire spell over the country, essentially. Bad advice.
He casts a spell over the country, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is Fauci their bad guy, now Fauci is a warlock that is casting a damage over time area of effect damage multiplier over all of us. He didn't know warlocks actually exist. Oh man, gosh, I can't imagine being so conspiratorial that you think that warlocks are real, but viruses aren't. Holy shit.
From social distancing, lockdown, no early treatment protocols, never called together an early treatment panel, never.
Bullshit. Of course they did. Of course they called that all together. They were looking at all different types of responses. And this is the thing that all these idiots will never contend with, okay? They'll always say, oh, he wanted to push the vaccines. It was all about the vaccines. Antivirals got approved during this time. There was 3 different antivirals that all got approved during this through the FDA, through these channels. The same ones that they're saying didn't exist, wasn't fair, the ivermectin should have been allowed, hydroxychloroquine should have been allowed. All this nonsense that he's going to push right now has been investigated. It's just that it wasn't found to be efficacious, so it wasn't used. It's pretty much that simple. It's just that simple. It's just that this douchebag actually sells you hydroxychloroquine. He is selling you hydroxychloroquine monthly subscription packages, and it just so happens that what do you think he thinks is the best possible medication? Hydroxychloroquine. Wow. Oh my, wow. It must be a coincidence, guys.
work to review and improve in-hospital care, and then this relentless push for COVID-19 vaccination.
Oh, wow. See, I hate being right. Honestly, sometimes I just hate being right. God, it's just, it's the same thing every time.
And then the canceling and the marginalizing of anyone who raised their hand and went, hey, on a second, hang on, what's going on here?
The canceling of the marginalization. It really feels like there was a rampant conspiracy thread during this time spread. The idea that nobody was allowed to speak conspiratorially about the pandemic, it's kind of a bullshit claim, isn't it? Because we hear conspiracies constantly still about the pandemic, right? But it's just people like these guys that are given a license to have power over people, and they are mad when their licenses are drawn into question, and in this douchebag's case is removed because he actually did harm with it. That's what it is. I'm sorry. An MD is a professional degree that is conferred to you and can be taken away by the state. That's just what it is. I'm sorry, but if you're doing harm, you should have your license removed.
Devastating takedowns with Francis Collins. You know, it's interesting. Dr. Redfield, who was the head of the CDC as this was all happening, gave an interview to the Wall Street Journal today, and he said something he said on my podcast, on my stream. He repeated it here before what he just said to the Wall Street Journal, which was he was the head of the CDC. This was his job. And all of a sudden, Fauci steps in and takes over. And Redfield literally has said repeatedly, he asked him, what are you doing? I'm the one that should be in charge here. You head a research institute downstream over here under the NIH. You don't run the CDC. You have barely a relationship with the CDC. And this is the CDC's job.
Oh my gosh.
And he continued to steamroll.
Yeah, he undermined Redfield. In fact, at one point in time, he's undermining Rochelle Lewinsky, the next CDC director, and says, I think Rochelle's going to have to go.
Yeah, you saw it in the diaries. And
oh
then
my gosh.
Lewinsky was taking direction from God knows who. She had the huevos to step and say, we got to open the schools. And all of a sudden, no, I'm just kidding. Teachers union stepped in, Fauci stepped in. There were so many adulterating influences. So what did you learn anything today? I understand we learned nothing from Fauci, but we had a very interesting panel that was presenting material in a systematic way that taught me a couple things.
Well, I think first off, someone like yourself who really studies both psychology and psychiatry, just the whole view of this. So Fauci shows up heavily guarded. He shows up early.
Yeah.
His attorneys refuse to.
Why is he heavily guarded, guys? Why do you think that he's heavily guarded? What, you think that he wants to pay for personal protection? You think he wants to pay for like Peter Hotez? You think he wants to pay for personal protection? Why they need bodyguards? What do you think? Why do you think? Why would you besmirch someone for having a bodyguard when they're having their lives being like threatened every day? Like why would you hope that they had less bodyguards? Like these people are sick. They have bodyguards because rampant conspiracies have put these demonic figures on Fauci and Peter Hotez and other scientists. And guess what? Now lunatics are actually going and trying to threaten their life. So yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay. What do you think, that they're just paying for that for just because?
Follow the rules of the Senate chamber. Now
they get that for free. What the fuck are you talking about, Ruben? Like just connect at least 2 more brain cells when you make stupid comments like that. What are you talking about? Like he's Fauci is a private citizen in the country, bro. It's not included in his position. What are you talking about? Just completely wrong. You're just completely wrong.
In that seat.
He's he's retired, bro. He doesn't get anything.
Testified under oath several times right there in that chamber. I know exactly how it works. His attorneys violate these rules to the point, and Rand Paul gives them plenty of opportunity to sit back and be quiet. So Fauci's attorneys, one of his attorneys has to be escorted out by a security officer. And then we get into the sequence of events where he just, pleads the Fifth Amendment, essentially will not answer information.
I love this. It's one thing to tell people to trust the information. It's another to cancel people and silence them for speaking up or raising questions. Then to go after them and discredit, destroy people, bring people down. So according to that, that means that if nobody was questioned or everyone was allowed to ask their questions, they would be pro-vaccine. That's what they're saying? They were for vaccines and they think that there's the science to support vaccines, but now they're against vaccines because of the backlash on asking questions. Like, no, of course not. Of course not. They're anti-vaccine and they're pissed off that they're being called out for it. That's what it is. Tough, deal with it. I don't care. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about it, Snowflake. Facts don't care about your feelings. Get over it.
Just, pleads the Fifth Amendment, essentially will not answer information because he doesn't want to incriminate himself, but he already has a pardon. So obviously Fauci doesn't trust his pardon to essentially grant him clemency.
Protect him.
Dude,
they're like streaming on YouTube, man. This is crazy. I love it. It was streamed live. Oh my gosh. How do you judge Fauci on the early HIV days?
That's
a good question.
Want America to know what happened. They have very, very good questions to be asked.
The senators do not, dude. They do not care. They do not care about your health care, bro. They're literally removing your access to Medicaid and trying to shut down as many rural hospitals as possible. It's the exact opposite.
And on the right side of the aisle, they're asking substantive questions. On the left side of the aisle, by and large, they're just pouring laudits on Fauci, asking him no questions.
Although Jeff Fetterman, the only apology we got in the entire day was from Jeff Fetterman, who essentially said that as lieutenant governor.
Wait, what was this one?
The entire day.
Please show us some proof that the vaccine reduced death. I'll wait. Bro, not only did it reduce death, but it reduced it. You were 10 times more likely to die if you were unvaccinated during the height of the Alpha variant, like before Omicron. So like not only is there evidence, but there's huge amounts of evidence. And you can paint that, by the way. You can look at the vaccine rate by county. You can look at the death rate of SARS-CoV-2 by county. And you can look at Republican versus Democrat counties, how they voted. And specifically, Republicans were losing their life way more than Democrats because of this. It's very sad, actually. They were literally dying to own the libs. It's actually very pathetic.
It was from Jeff Fetterman, who essentially said that as lieutenant governor, I made some mistakes and he didn't.
Who is this guy? The response of people raising genuine questions or concern alone was a big red flag and got me feeling wildly suspicious. Bro, you needed an excuse. Like just whenever people are like this, it's like, no, you were always like that, and now you're looking for an excuse. You're projecting your insecurity.
Specify what, but he said he's got to set the record straight, and he listened. He didn't say specifically because of listening to you, sir, Dr. Fauci, I made some serious mistakes. He just said, I'm here to apologize for some of the excesses that don't look good to me now. Good. Fantastic. And Rand Paul, at the very end of the testimony, did say that he was really hoping for apology. Just something.
Oh my God. He was just looking for an apology, guys. I love that we watched the whole thing. The idea that Rand Paul was seriously in just good faith. He just wanted to talk the shit, man. He was just like, wanted to see how Fauci was doing. He wanted for the best of like these guys are just absolutely out to lunch, man. These guys are absolutely pathetic.
For instance,
how about apologies? How about apologies for the CDC being shot up and someone losing their life because of that? How about the 300,000 people that died because of vaccine hesitancy? How about an apology for the 300,000 people that Trump killed because he refused to follow the CDC's orders on how they should respond to a pandemic? How about the amount of the kids and the people that have measles right now, directly because of people like these guys who are pushing vaccine disinformation and making people question vaccines in general now? How about these guys apologize for a single thing that they've done and the erosion of public trust that Republicans have in the scientific community now? Because it is Republicans, by the way. This isn't I mean, science did such a poor job. It eroded the trust everywhere. No, we know specifically it is Republicans who have drunk the Kool-Aid on this. They've drunk the Kool-Aid on Trump. They're drinking it on this. The science has become an ideological football that is within MAGA now, and that's the erosion that we see. That's just the fact. That is what it is.
Hey, you know what? I was doing the best I could at the time. Maybe my judgment wasn't as keen as I thought it was, or maybe I made a couple of mistakes. It was a very fluid situation. And, you can see in the diary where he's trying to organize. He has some good people he's trying to organize. And then, no, it's just Stonewall.
Nowhere in Fauci's diary does he really indicate that he cares about vulnerable Americans. He
Oh my gosh.
any care or concern.
This is for a guy. He's saying he doesn't that Fauci doesn't care. This is the guy that's saying that we shouldn't have given vaccines to people that were below 50. Like the insanity. The guy looks at 1.2 million dead Americans after the pandemic and says that number should be bigger. That's what he is saying. That's what Peter McCullough is saying right now. And so the idea that Fauci is the one who's not expressing, care in the world, this is just the definition of cry-bullying.
No impetus for early treatment. Certainly never contacted me. I published in the American Journal of Medicine, the most widely cited peer-reviewed publication, protocol of how to treat the illness.
Got retracted.
He doesn't show up at my Senate.
It got retracted.
Testimony in November 19th of 2020 on how to treat COVID. That would be the biggest thing that he would do in his position. And then, the diary indicates he essentially turns into a monster. He's self-absorbed, and I'm sure Jeff Tucker's going to go through all this. I mean, this is, it's really, really disturbing. Josh Hawley summed it up best. Fauci is a national disgrace.
Wow, that is wild, man.
Given that he's one of our peers, and then I will even go on the record and say during HIV and AIDS, I found him to be quite useful. I was teaching medicine at the time, and he was not going out on the media. He was staying within the medical structure. He was doing the advisory thing. He wasn't mandating anything. He was just useful. I didn't do everything he said, and I didn't have to. I just listened to some of the ideas that he was presenting, like the CDC normally does. Right. And so for me, this was a grand departure from who I thought he was. Now, obviously, somebody doesn't become somebody different. Is it the media that really lit the torch here?
It could have. I mean, he became ensconced in the media. And, I've been in that Washington, D.C. bureau, I'm sure you have too, where each floor is a different station. So you literally can just go up and down the elevator and go on all the shows. But his memoirs indicate that he's absolutely absorbed in going on TV, particularly CNN. And he's, colluding with them, collaborating.
Colluding with them.
Insults to the other side.
That literally, the only thing McCullough has is the media. That is the only way that he even exists now. That is through doing these media appearances. Like, this is pure projection.
Poisoning the questioning of Jake Tapper, for instance, then having Jake and his wife over to his house for dinner. I mean, you can't make this up.
God, he was an absolutely insufferable fool.
We've had dinner with him too. They are a lovely couple. Yeah, they are fun. They are lovely. I've never made an issue of it. I would know what I would think to. I can't even imagine that.
Not as fun as you and Maha, though.
But that's the point that he was sort of activated by all this. But I've seen this in our peers before, Peter. I've seen them get this way when they take care of celebrities. I've seen them this way when they suddenly get media attention. It adulterates them and it adulterates their judgment. The media is just a tool. It's just a place to either do work or to give information or create some entertainment that educates something. But it's not about you. It's not about you or me. If it becomes about you and me, we got a problem.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it. I think the media played a role, but also competing for these cash prizes and having the NIH staff.
Cash prizes. Repeating he's talking about how, I'm sorry, how what was it? He's saying that having undue influence of money, is that what he's saying? The way that money has undue influence? What was that? Ultimate spike detox? What was that? Ivermectin? Ivermectin boxes? What was that? What was that? What was that? Give me a break, dude. Come on. These guys.
Fill out his applications and this and that, and he was just pulling in the cash. And I think that's what really soured people today. People think about their loved ones in the hospital and struggling through COVID, and losing their businesses, whatever. And there he was spending his time applying for these cash prizes, and money was just pouring in.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, he would have made way more money doing anything else other than the position that he was, basically. So the idea that Fauci was in this position in order to make money, if he wanted to make money, he would be doing what these douchebags were doing, which is selling these kits, selling exactly what he's doing right now in order to sell this nonsense so that people get hooked on this BS. Look at that. Like, it's just complete projection that they have. The idea that these guys sell this fear and as a package deal that you can get prescription and delivery made, doctor consults, no hidden fees, free shipping, and there's this douchebag right here. God, it's just they take whatever is, it's just pure projection. It's just complete projection.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you did mention this today. There was censorship for the medical community. There was a fear in the medical world of stepping out of line.
Yes. Oh, yes.
The hospitals were not helping people because they were too worried about losing their job.
The hospitals weren't helping people. What bullshit, man. What bullshit conspiracy is this? They weren't helping people because they wanted to. That is just complete cope, dude.
You were both censored.
Mm-hmm.
The best of the best were censored.
Right.
Best of the
And,
best.
it didn't just
Your
stop.
mic is too low. See if you can turn it up.
Oh.
Or it's
Right.
muted.
Oh, yeah,
It's muted, actually.
Oh.
Is it on?
Usually people are telling me to shut up.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
But,
There you go.
but it just
It's
it
better.
just bothers me that we all were affected by it. Like I started getting PTSD watching it today because it made me remember how horrible it was when they said, well, did you do this? Well, did you do that? I thought, oh my God. I mean, they're putting it all together in one hearing. I can hear all the things that were being done to the American people. And I wish
They are the victims, guys. They are the victims, not the 1.2 million people that lost their lives, right? They are the real victims here. Aw. Like they never got censored in the ability to say their disinformation. Their licenses got removed so that they couldn't like hurt people, but nobody was systemically all of the conspiracies are all open and available in social media everywhere. The idea that they got censored on this BS is just completely wrong.
Zev Zelenko was alive today. I could feel him smiling because he was going stuff about hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin, and it was just there was no treatment. It was all about getting his vaccine out.
No treatment. What are you talking about? They had they had monoclonal antibodies before the vaccine. They had this stuff. Again, this is just dribble, conspiratorial dribble. They are trying to paint a narrative. They are trying to lie to you. They're trying to gaslight you in this scenario, and they're pushing this nonsense in order to erode trust in science. And this is why in this media sphere, you can see why Republicans do not trust science anymore, because they are stuck in these algorithms, and this algorithm is feeding them this slop. And now what are they going to do afterwards? Are they going to trust, the vaccines for MMR, for example, because of measles? Well, of course not, because of idiots like this.
Money in it for him there too. They're going to find that for sure.
Do you think, Dr. McCullough, that the EUA was the reason for squashing early treatment, or was it just more of the same sort of ego-driven? Don't listen to me and don't listen to anybody else?
I think it was ego-driven, and it really was squashing early treatment was kind of market preparation.
He's talking about hydroxychloroquine because he wants to sell hydroxychloroquine because guess what? You can get hydroxychloroquine from his thing. Wow, what an absolute what a coincidence, guys. He sells hydroxychloroquine. Wow, incredible.
For the vaccine. But remember, bamlanivimab, a monoclonal antibody, which I used extensively, was safe and effective.
Yep.
That preceded the vaccines.
Yes.
So it couldn't have been.
Exactly. His own story backs up. You know why? Because monoclonal antibodies are extremely expensive. Like monoclonal antibody treatments were like $5,000 a piece. Like the idea that we were just going to monoclonal antibody the entire country, that's insanity. That is insanity. You know how hard it is to make monoclonal antibodies? What do you think the antibodies are coming from? It's extremely hard.
EUA mechanism alone, Fauci, undermined early treatment, and this is very important.
He didn't.
He actually never gave much attention to any of the early treatments, whether they be emergency use authorized or
it's not his portion. It's not his job in order to approve things. He isn't the authoritarian chief. That's not how it works. The FDA approves these things, not Fauci personally. Again, these guys want to build up these fake ideas, these fake pyramids of power that exist, but it's just not true. The FDA is completely separate, right? They're doing their own investigations, their own studies, and they were approving antivirals before the vaccine. That's just what it is.
Available generics or over the counters.
It's true. It's true. Bamlanivimab kept me out of the hospital. I turned around that afternoon with an alpha and delta, particularly during those dark days.
Wow. Yeah. Just $5,000, guys. That's all it takes. $5,000 each, Yeah, for sure. The fact that these guys are talking about monoclonal antibodies as the treatment that could be used for the nation is really telling, dude. It's how out of touch these guys are.
Monoclonal antibodies were very effective, and then
they were
because it started wearing off. But there's a chapter in there that no one is told yet that I have a vivid recollection of, which is Florida said, "Oh my God, this is an effective way to treat it. Let's put vans out full of the monoclonal antibodies. They have the vans drive around to communities and infuse people all over Florida." And Biden's administration cut them off so they couldn't get the product.
Wait. Who was the president of the United States in the first year of the pandemic? These guys, think about it. Who was the president? Trump. It was Trump. Why would you need vans of monoclonal antibodies that would be going around when you have a safe and effective vaccine? Doesn't make any sense. Holy shit, guys. Holy shit.
That was an egregious chapter. Check me on this. And the other part, on the California side, you couldn't get the vaccine unless you were from a risk neighborhood, which I had to go beg for it at the hospital.
For the first 3 months.
And I was not given it, and I got COVID instead. And then
exactly, Randall. Yeah, spend $5,000 or get a free vaccine. Which to choose? Exactly. Yeah, because monoclonal antibodies are limited, right? There aren't that many of them. So you wanted to use them specifically for people that needed them the most. You're in the middle of a pandemic, guys.
Monoclonal antibodies, again, I had a patient who was dying of COVID. He was demanding it at the front, and they would not give it to him. because he wasn't. I didn't want to say it out loud. It's so terrible, but it's exactly what they told him.
Exactly. Morons can't even lie properly. Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Not for your type. You don't fit.
And
You don't fit who we're saving this for.
There was a paper in medical economics.
That was the policies.
That was their whole idea, their whole thing, the Great Barrington Declaration, and exactly what McCullough and these douchebags are talking about is that we weren't rationing care enough. They wanted more rationing so that it wasn't available towards people that for everyone. They wanted it only for people above 50, okay? So these guys wanted to ration care even more. They didn't want vaccines available to everyone. So the idea that they are mad about rationing care when they are the ones that wanted more stipulations than anyone else. Like, I mean, it's just, it doesn't comport to reality. These guys are 2020 hindsight trying to weave this needle of gaslighting through this nonsense. And they're relying on you not knowing. They are relying on you not being educated. They think you're dumb. These guys think that you are dumb, and they are trying to pull the wool over your eyes so that you listen to them, and that you go on this guy's website that he has on his fake lab coat right now, and that you go and you buy his supplement pack. That's what they're asking right now, because Dr. Drew is on the board too, so he's getting a kickback from it as well. So they are trying to lead you away from actual medical advice into their traps of their grifting nonsense, non-FDA approved bullshit. And they're making money off of it. They're making hand over fist off of it.
No, it's true.
Medical economics, yeah.
There was a paper in medical economics indicating that Operation Warp Speed and the government had bought enough doses of monoclonal antibodies to treat every single American. Can you imagine?
Dude, guys, okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, let's say that happens. Let's say that happens, okay? Think about this, please. Come in here. 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 Let's say that they do that. Let's say that they do that. Let's say that we get monoclonal antibody treatment for everyone in the country, okay? It's not a vaccine. You're gonna have monoclonal antibodies, but your body's not going to be able to produce more antibodies. It's going to be a single bolus of the antibodies, and it will attack the SARS-CoV-2 that's in your body right now, but your body can't produce any antibodies for the future. That's why vaccines bolster your native immune system, and that's why they are so much better than just routine monoclonal antibody treatments. This is basic stuff, guys. It's monoclonal antibody treatments were good for people that were way beyond, where the viral load was so high that even a vaccine couldn't help them. And that was the whole point, that you ration it for those people specifically. If you gave everyone in the country monoclonal antibodies, people don't have a background. They're not going to have that natural immunity from a vaccine, because a vaccine creates a natural immunity for your body to fight that COVID infection in the future. Okay? This is basic stuff, guys. This is basic stuff. Come on, man.
Imagine that. Yet the nursing homes weren't stocked with this. Patients in the emergency room weren't given this before admission. I think every very high-risk patient should have received monoclonal antibodies. I think they also should have received ivermectin in the emergency room.
Holy shit, the ivermectin salesman, the guy that's selling ivermectin on his website, it says that everyone should have ivermectin. No way, dude. No way. Whoa, ivermectin. Oh, wow. Oh my God, subscribe and save. Only $270. Oh, man. Wow, Peter McCullough selling you ivermectin live, and these douchebags making money off of it right to your face. Right to your face.
Through the hospital stay, like the ICON study published that in Chest, well over a 50% reduction in mortality.
Nope,
that
not
plus
true.
The monoclonals
not true.
have given everyone a big head start.
Not
Sadly,
true.
the people who died in the hospital. Yeah, and of course, steroids very important. But people who died in the hospital, Drew, they died because of inadequate early treatment at home.
Bullshit, dude. I mean, again, people were going, like, literally, they were dying because of ivermectin poisoning. They were literally ingesting wrong amounts of ivermectin and showing up in the hospital because of it. People were dying because of that. Ivermectin has no mechanism of action against SARS-CoV-2. And you know who said that? You know who said ivermectin has no actual mechanism in order to do that? Merck. Merck, the same company that makes ivermectin and that would have all the financial capabilities in order to make money off of ivermectin attacking SARS-CoV-2, even they were like, bro, guys, whoa, 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 we don't do that. That's not true. That's not true. Don't say that. If the company itself didn't even endorse SARS-CoV-2 treatments for ivermectin, isn't that saying something? Isn't that saying something that's not true? They have all the money to profit off of it. Come on, man.
And excessive ventilator management, excessive
Ventilator management. Yes, because we didn't have enough. People needed them in order to survive. People had them. This is, again, more conspiracies by these guys saying that because these idiots are pushing conspiracies that somehow the ventilators are what actually killed people. Because that's what was happening. People on death's door that were put on ventilators in order to hopefully maybe come back from it, or just prolong the inevitable. Somehow that's not the best thing that could have happened. These people are eluding a national conspiracy in order to make money off of you and fearmonger off of you. It's gross.
severe, excessive things that really just added to the problems. Yeah, it's if you really, they didn't get into the weeds of these parts of the history of all that. We got to write this sometime because people are going to forget all these different details.
And I'll be here, bitch, and I will be here combating whatever it is for the rest of my life. I will be fighting back against these idiots because we cannot let these people win. This is an absolute disgrace that they are able to push this nonsense and actually get this much traction in our media. And it's an absolute disgrace that our media, the sane side of the media, doesn't push back more on this nonsense. We need more people that are discrediting these people and taking them to task in their face and not giving them a softball interview. We need to absolutely eviscerate these people in the media and show them as the charlatans that they are.
So many dark, grim, dumb aspects to this journey that to me was, that's why I wanted to take you back to where you started as a decorated professor of medicine. You don't get to be a professor of medicine just because. That is a lengthy process for the select few. And it is taken away from you. And then these crazy things are put in place. It was the most bewildering period of my life. And now to see these diaries where one of our peers was completely adulterated by his ego, and the dumb politicians, as Senator Moreno said, what do you call them? Stupid politicians or ignorant? So you use some very pejorative word. Followed exactly. And then the world followed suit. And all of it, this is the last thing I want to talk about. Then I'm going to bring Jeffrey in here. I'll let you go. It's as I look across the sweep of all this, do you remember how cozy the relationship was amongst the scientific communities in America and China before this all went down? The whole center of gravity of a lot of research and biomedical research had moved to China. And we were like, oh, this
what are
is
you
great.
talking about?
They're democracy, blah, blah, blah. No sense of the People's Liberation Army involved with this, or the CCP involved with it. And we went all the way in with these people. What? And when President Xi was given that crazy graph where they went from high levels of COVID to zero COVID, and we believed that, and
nobody did. Nobody did. Nobody believed that China had zero COVID cases. Nobody believed that. Okay, that everyone understood that there was a huge giant asterisk on that. Nobody. Come on, dude.
Home and said zero COVID is the goal. We got to do what the Chinese do. And that's where the craziness.
Nobody did that. Nobody did that. In the United States, nobody actually followed what the Chinese did in terms of lockdown. We didn't lock down in the United States, guys. We didn't. We didn't do an actual lockdown in the United States. It was suggested stay home, and it was never an actual full lockdown. It just wasn't. So that's why other countries did have significantly less deaths per capita than in the United States. That is just the reality. They had higher vaccination rates, and they actually did lock down. That's just the case.
Really went off the rail.
Important insights, collusion with China, the
Collusion.
outsourcing of gain of function.
Look at it. Ivermectin worked for me when I got COVID. Look at, of course, that's the one that they push, guys. That's the comment that they push right now. They know McCullough sells it. They know that Dr. Drew gets a kickback, and they're pushing ivermectin stories into the top, even though that's not true.
Function research, which is now well established. Fortunately, it looks like Trump is really shutting this down.
What an idiot.
I think our
Again, not true.
Senators Johnson and Rand Paul and Bernie Moreno and Josh Hawley, they made us proud today. They didn't hold
all
back.
these Republicans, yeah, that grandstanded and pushed our conspiracies, and that we're seeing a big uptick in ivermectin sales. Good job, Rand Paul. Fucking idiots.
They got the facts out there. I think the hearing today was of value to America. I was recently on a documentary in Europe, Drew, and people asked me, Dr. McCullough, what do you want? What do you really want? I said, in the end, when this is all done, I just want the world to know the truth. I think today was a step in that direction.
Yes. Now we'll see if anybody gets to hear it, because media is not. Thank God social media is alive with it, but the traditional media is not. Dr. McCullough, again, this is kind of an interesting day for you and me. I feel like we were thrown together by this whole story, and that we both had a deep passion for medical freedom. And people need to be free, and doctors need to be free to do what they think is best for the patient in front of them.
Yeah, because physicians shouldn't follow any guidelines, guys. They should just be able to do whatever they want with your body. Don't follow the science. Just follow the vibes, bro. Vibes based medical practices. That's what he wants. That's what McCullough wants. McCullough wants the physician to only treat you what they're getting paid for directly. By the way, not like going to a conference and getting paid for speeches. No. Directly, you give him $20 and he takes 10. That is the type of medical practice that these guys want. It's fucking gross, dude.
And that's where the wellness company that would birth the wellness company. And
the birthing of the wellness company. How brave. These guys that are both the Dr. Drew, who sits on the board of it, and then McCullough, who is the chief science officer. These guys are touting now the benefits of this place. You should go check this out. And this guy's in his fake fucking lab coat, dude. God damn it. I hate these guys. Holy shit.
That's true.
Hopefully we'll continue to good work, and it's there's some good things that came out of it, and you are one of them.
Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, Dr. Drew. You just completely, yes, Drew, exactly. McCullough is something that was made from the pandemic. You just made my point exactly. This fraud, this failure of a physician was able to turncoat his entire career and birth this new form fighting against science. And you're right, McCullough was created from the pandemic, and that's exactly why. Because he's making a lot more money doing this wellness grift than he was ever before, and people like Drew now are pushing this nonsense and hurting people because of it. Absolute disgrace. Fuck both of these failures. Absolutely insane that the people are like watching this or even like turning into this, that people get swayed by this. At least the Democrats aren't. At least independents aren't. But Republicans, come back to reality. Please, God, somebody help the Republicans to touch grass with reality and not be so brain broke on this. Freaking COVID derangement syndrome. They refuse to actually understand what happened and just want to gaslight the entire country. And it's just another example, by the way, how MAGA and the Republican Party stands alone in this nonsense. Like, there are people all around the world that are all on the side of science, that are all on the side of vaccines, that are all on the side of medical intervention actually helps COVID. But then you have people like these guys and MAGA and Maha and RFK Jr. that are all on an island, all amongst themselves, that are like just as a human centipede trying to make money off of the death and disease spreading of easily preventable vaccine related illnesses and pushing things like ivermectin to people. Absolute disgrace that these people like have any type of platform to do this nonsense. But honestly, if they're going to have a platform, at least let me be uncensored to actually go after these people. Let me actually eviscerate these people and actually encounter them. And I would absolutely love to debate any of these nonsense, any of these guys at any given time, because I'm not going to go as easily. I'm not going to go as easy as any of these people have ever seen in their life, and they're going to be a little shocked by that. So please, if you like it, if you like this video, thanks for being here, YouTube. I appreciate you. I'll see you soon. Oh, okay. Oh my God, dude. Oh, I hate these people so much, man. I hate these people. I know, dude. They wouldn't. That's the problem, bro, is that they just hide. They absolutely fucking hide. No way. Hazel McCullough's net worth is 50 million now. Wow. Dude, they made so much money. God, dude. I hate it so much, dude. Thank you guys for the gifts. I'm sorry. I was like doing my thing. I didn't want to. It's for YouTube. I try not to like do it. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Les. Appreciate you all. It's so funny because like people always say that I am like that I'm the pharma and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, bro, these guys literally have websites where they're slinging their thing. You know what I mean? Like it would be so easy for me to grift, to sell stuff like that. Like it would be so fucking easy. My account would be 5x from what it is now. Instead of $1,000 a month, I'm making, I could probably make a livable wage off of it, but I refuse to. That's just what it is. And here we are. And here we are because of that, Yeah, can't I just swallow a bright light? That was wild. The fact that he said that. That was so crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys want to chill with like some Stabby's World or something real quick? Let's see.
I used to be a science teacher.
I used to be a science teacher. It's kind of him. God, dude, I want a cage match with them. Like I challenge all these grifters to a fucking cage match. We can do it for charity. We can like the money can be um for whatever. Oh man, I would love Aaron Siri. Oh my God, I would love to cage match this guy. Just please. Like, just give me a chance, dude. Just give me 5 minutes, 1 round. Just give me 1 round with them, please. Oh my God,
Hey, Stavi, Eldest, esteemed guest. Me and my wife. Hey, Stavi, Eldest, esteemed guest. Me and my wife have been married about 4 years now. We ended up bringing someone into a relationship, and things have been kind of interesting, I guess.
Yeah, you're fine.
It was fun. We enjoyed it. She's about 2 months since then. She's pregnant now. So we're not really sure.
The title is "My Wife is Pregnant After We Opened Up Our Marriage to Another Guy." Oh no! Oh no! Oh man!
What to do?
Dude.
I say we. It's more me. She's denying that there's any chance it could be someone else's, but I'm also there, and I am fucking cream pie my wife. So I would have to assume there's a chance it's not my kid. Not really sure what to do. I really love this woman. Obviously, don't want anything to happen that would be bad, but
Just ruined my day.
yeah, any advice you have would be fantastic.
Bro, come on, man. That's wild, dude. That's wild. You got to use protection on that one. That's crazy, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, she's the best, but
She's the best.
Yeah, she gets green pied by another guy, and that's also
your wife for this
kind of put a little damage on our marriage and relationship. So we'll see what happens.
Wait,
yeah, she's not really up to
Oh my gosh, so good.
the test to get tested, but as far as whose kid it is, because
yeah, the guy
she's thinking there's no chance it's anyone else's, but
so
I'm thinking there's a chance.
Oh my god, so good. I got a freaking, oh my gosh, I got a removal on TikTok. Oh my god, that's so good. Of course. Okay. No, see you, man. See you, Randall. It's a 3-day ban. It's okay. 3-day suspension. Whatever. It is what it is. I guess I could this switch accounts. Yeah, I did. 3 days. I knew it was gonna happen. Like this subject, like I like it's inevitable. It's ridiculous, dude. TikTok is such BS, dude. Aw, one of the absolute one of the pussies is. Let's see. Ba-dum. TikTok is so weird, man. TikTok. Of course, it happened after, like today. You know what I mean? So annoying. I hate it. I knew it was gonna happen anyway, so I was just like, I'm gonna go fucking full bore. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm not gonna like couch it. So I'm happy that I went full bore and like just didn't censor myself because I knew it was gonna happen anyway. So I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? Like, what's the point, dude? Come on, man. Okay. Well, I don't know why this is not. Like, why isn't this going? Go. Log in. Log in. Log in. This. My main account got suspended for 3 days. Oh, my appeal got approved. Nice. All right. Well, I'm gonna just go to bed anyway. So that's nice. That's actually cool. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go to bed. It's 2:00. I gotta go to bed anyway, so it works out. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. These are the days that this is what we're born for, ladies and gentlemen. These are the days that we do this for. And I'm proud and happy to be here with you. And I'm proud and happy to be on this fight with you. And mercilessly, relentlessly, we will dogmatically go forward fighting for a future that we can all be proud of. And that's just what we're going to do, you know?